Submit to the High Council here on World Class Bullshitters. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and tonight, well, we got a lot to talk about before we start tonight's show. So last week on the High Council, we had some drama to close out the show, and you know what? That's all we're going to ever hear about it from on this show. That is over and done with. This show, the High Council, it's Switzerland. There's no sides being played, nothing. It's right down the middle across the board. I don't condone or support any kind of canceling or any shit like that. I don't support or condone, me causing division or anything like that. So I'm all about the unity. I don't like the drama, but it was brought to my doorstep, so I had to address it. And I did. So tonight we have a new High Council, and this is going to be our High Council moving forward. It's a group of people that we've all had on the show before, and I'm very excited to work with. So, folks, let's introduce the first member. You know him, you love him. He's been here many times before. He'll be here many times in the future. Folks, say hello to Comics Division.
Hey, everybody. And
what's up, man?
Jamaram.
Oh, wait, you said the word. I guess I got to say it. Fuck. Okay, here you go. Jamaram!
Seriously, it makes me laugh every time.
I love it. Now, tonight, folks, we're broadcasting from a different computer, so there won't be any glitches or lags when we press the button. So I'm super excited for the show. But before we start the show, we have one more addition to the High Council. Now, we do have a very special guest to talk about our topic, but tonight's second member, actually technically the third member of the High Council, of the new High Council. We know her, we love her. Folks, say hello to Mary Mayhem.
I was promised spaghetti with garlic bread.
No problem. I like to cook.
Meatballs on the side?
Yes, please. With Parmesan.
Extra
Parmesan, please. Hi, I'm so excited. Yay!
So, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, there is no kind of drama, no kind of problem, no sort of division here on the High Council except Comics Division. So, be prepared for a really fun show in the vein of the High Council, the way it's always been. Now, one last thing before we do start talking about topics, something that I want to do is get back to the way things used to be here in the Fandom Menace. We were all about supporting and building and growing. So here on the High Council, we have a new directive for our two new members. We want to get their subscriber count up. We used to get so excited to help build people up, to ramp them up, to help get the numbers. And I want the High Council to become a fully rotatable show just like it used to be. So we're going to have to get those numbers up. So, folks, I'm thinking we can do this as a community quickly, but let's help Marion Comics get to 50K. It's not that hard. There are so many people out there in the community. They're great people. They're great content creators, and it's going to make the High Council a much better show. Mm-hmm. So, guys, are you ready for some new subscribers?
Yeah, always. I guess it means I should make content again.
Right? Yeah. I was literally going to say, hey, if it floats your boat, it's fine. That's all right.
I'm back in production mode now that I got the new computer. I went out and filmed some stuff when I was on the road. So, folks, there's going to be a nice Star Wars toy video because allegedly I've been accused of causing problems in the retail world. So we'll talk about that tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, I'm like, okay, post a picture on Twitter. Guess I'm responsible for it. So I post pictures of Stonehenge. I'm responsible for that, too.
The mystery is finally solved.
So, folks, we have one more guest joining us tonight. He just hit 2,000 subscribers over on his channel, and he is one of the smartest guys in the Fandom Menace. He's great with numbers, and we're going to talk about some of the Disney losses and the future of Disney Star Wars and such. So, folks, say hello to Culture Casino.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Mary. Hey, Comics. Good to see everybody. Hello to the chat. I'm glad to be here. Very excited, and going to be a fun night, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So, folks, let's start talking about the first topic. Disney. Let's start with fun. We don't need to get into the deep stuff yet. Let's talk about something fun. So, show of hands with a 1 in the chat. Do you like Brie Larson?
Is that what we're going with? Is that how we're going to describe this as fun? Do I need to go get Tylenol right now?
I think you need to get a bottle of Jack Daniels and drink yourself to, calm down, because I am tired of seeing this woman's face every week. She's not coming to Star Wars. Can we please stop?
I think it would be funny if she does.
At this point, it's what Star Wars deserves.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with that.
Yeah, but you're assuming they're that tone deaf at this point. And based on, stuff that we're going to talk about later, I don't think they can afford to be. So,
no. That rebranding is more than just, we're going to make Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan a big deal. You took Captain Marvel out. No other superhero movie has ever taken their titular characters out of the titles for some reason. Well, the sequel, we'll just put the number behind it. It always works that way. They're hiding from this woman, and why put her on Star Wars?
I mean, I would agree. I do think they're already trying to find a way to kind of step around her, just with the whole Monica Rambeau thing. They're already like priming that up, right? I think she's poison. I think she's absolute poison, and I don't know. Again, that assumes that the people who are over at Marvel aren't going to be making different decisions from the people over at Lucasfilm, right? Like I get they're both underneath of Disney, but you have to kind of sort out whether or not the people over at Marvel are going to be doing the same things as the people at Lucasfilm. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that they aren't on completely different pages.
I'm not convinced they don't have their head up their asses, but whatever. Okay, let's play in the world that this happens, that Brie Larson is in a Star Wars movie. How much less money than Solo does it make?
I don't know.
I was going to say, I don't know. It depends on how they market it. Look, they did a pretty great job with Captain Marvel. They marketed the hell out of that movie. They placed it pretty well, and they intertwined it with something that fans loved, right? Something that, or fans assumed they would love. And so if you're mixing her and intermingling her with Mara Jade, there's a decent possibility that just the recognition of the name Mara Jade is enough of a catalyst to at least in the beginning, get that movie some legs.
I don't know. I mean, part of it right now, we all know Star Wars is on the decline. And I think the general viewing public knows the exact same thing. I don't think bringing Brie Larson to the franchise is going to, even if she is playing Mara Jade, is going to make it interesting to people. And we'll definitely we'll know for sure how the Marvels does, which it's not going to break $1 billion. I don't think.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
No,
I'm not sure there are any more $1 billion movies in Star Wars' pocket at this point.
Not as it's currently built out. No, I think you're right there, Mary. And I would say that, there are going to be $1 billion movies again in theaters because, everything's going to cost a hell of a lot more because of hyperinflation. But, that those billions of dollars will, adjusted for inflation, won't even be significant anymore. It'd be like, $500 million movie in, currency before 2021.
Now, what's the cost of these things too? Because with Star Wars, they kept getting more expensive, even though they make less, in the main trilogy.
Yeah.
So I don't like to every week go, Star Wars is dead, Star Wars is dead, to be repetitive, but this is a dumb idea that I don't think will make any money, and I think it'll just hurt us as fans, and it'll hurt Star Wars again.
Well, they're literally killing this brand. I mean, and you weren't wrong. If you asked me the question about whether or not this film with her in it would earn more than Solo: A Star Wars Story, no, because Solo: A Star Wars Story earned about $400 million or just under that in the box office and internationally, worldwide box office, 390 something, and I don't see, adjusted for inflation, any film with Brie Larson in it performing any better than that. Let's just put it in those terms. I mean,
Here's
even
my question:
is going to stink.
How do they even assign Mara Jade to? How do you reconcile Mara Jade with the sequel trilogy? Like, obviously, you're not going to be able to have the same Mara Jade. You're not going to be presenting Mara Jade, right? Because you're going to have a whole different scenario to work with here. You can't actually give us Mara Jade in anything other than name only. And so I'm not sure how they even go about doing the Mara Jade story at this point, considering that we have an entire sequel trilogy where Luke has no kids. There's no offspring. We have none of that stuff going on at this point.
Well, they just make him a deadbeat dad, just like they do with Han Solo. I mean, that's how they pull this off. That and Mara Jade dumps him because he's a loser. He goes to whatever planet he was on and mopes for the rest of his life after she gets knocked up with twins, and basically he loses custody in the divorce. So yeah, it's pretty much how it's going to go.
Wow. Custody goes right to the chick.
The comics, are they going to let Brie Larson be like turn Mara Jade into a just an absolute raging bitch? I mean, is that the plan here?
I don't know. I mean, this is Disney we're talking about, so anything can happen.
Sadly, anything can happen. I've been reading up. We'll get into the financial things in a minute, but I've been reading up all these reports about how it's projecting to look well for Disney. I'm like, damn it, nothing's going to stop them. But I digress. We'll get to that in a moment. This, though, Luke Skywalker had an epic return at the end of The Mandalorian. You can't have this character without Luke, and you can't have Luke anymore because of what you did with The Last Jedi. No matter what, I loved, getting that excitement back to see Luke. I was like, holy shit, he's badass again. And I found this thing I'm going to read at the end of the show tonight about Luke Skywalker. But they just jumped too far ahead with The Last Jedi and making him this and that and killing him off. No more in between. It's like it's disappointing. Rogue One, I'm going to get behind this character only to watch him die. Well, it's cool to see Luke and have this wonderful whirlwind romance, but it doesn't go anywhere. Why get invested? It's ultimately a downer.
Well, and if you look, I'm not going to front here and present it as though I've read all of the EU books, but I have read the Thrawn trilogy, and I don't see how you go about engaging this. I really do not see how I honestly don't even know how they're going to go about engaging anything in regards to Luke at this point. You'd have to completely recast. It's very disjointed. It's very unsettling. It's a very difficult thing to do. I'm not sure why there are so many stories in Star Wars. This is a massive time span here that we're talking about. And you could tackle any number of characters. Why are we staying right here in this very specific window? And I'm not saying that Mara Jade is a story that couldn't be done or even necessarily shouldn't be done. But why are we staying right here when all the controversy that surrounds all of this stuff is still so prevalent and still so painful for so many people in this community? Why can't we move away from that for a while and tell some different stories? And then maybe, come back in 30 years, 20, 30 years, when this has died down a bit. It's not going anywhere. This material exists. It's not going anywhere. Why do this now?
Well,
because they have nothing else.
That's basically it. I mean, look at the High Republic. I mean, is anyone taking that shit seriously? No.
I can't even be bothered to follow it to make videos to make fun of it anymore. After they made a Little Rock, I was like, where else do you go?
I mean, and it's like, I'm not trying to be punny here, but they literally have hit rock bottom.
Dude, puns are okay on this channel.
Well, I know.
I agree with you. It's an embarrassment. This weekend, I played this game. I think it's called Star Wars Galaxy at War. Let me get the exact title. Yes, Empire at War Gold Pack, on a PC. It brought back that love of Star Wars. It's that old stuff that still can.
Oh God, Empire at War is great.
I have to limit myself because I play the little campaigns and I'm just having so much fun taking my ground troops, bringing in my tanks, bringing in my speeders. It's addictive, and when I figure out how to stream it to Twitch, that'll be a much different story. But I just love the old PC Star Wars games. I just love that era of Star Wars. You didn't even need movies. You just needed books, games, some, a videotape release and action figures. And it felt like the movies were brand new again. With literal billion-dollar films out there, it just feels lesser than before. I've never seen somebody make something so epic, so inconsequential in record time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. J.J. Abrams is giving him a run. So
with everything, or just
run for the bank, I guess. I don't know.
Star Trek specifically, but pretty much. I mean, here's the thing. Kurtzman took Clarice from being a bankable property right to Paramount Plus after being on network television. That tells you a lot, because that's moving. That's actually the dumping ground now for CBS. They move the stuff that doesn't move well on their regular network to Paramount Plus.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
it's like live TV is where shows go to die.
yeah. I mean, when you suck, you move from network television to the streaming service. At least with CBS Paramount Plus.
Oh wait! From the streaming service to TV, or from TV to streaming?
No, from TV to the streaming service.
Oh, okay.
They are dumping the underperforming shows right now on the streaming service.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the other way around. That's still funny.
We have this conversation, and I'll turn it back into Star Wars, where we don't really know outside of what you get from Samba and Roku and what Roku's advanced metrics are going to look like here in the next 2 years. But we don't really know how any of the Disney shows and Disney Plus shows perform. We don't know how their movies perform. If they get day and date releases like Mulan and
Mhm.
other things like that, they can claim victory even if it's total bullshit.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're not exactly like eager to reveal any of that stuff to us, which is a pretty big red flag for us in terms of like what it is that we're supposed to believe, how it's actually doing. How are we supposed to actually know? If this were doing well, at least as I'm sure you're hoping to purport that it does, then you would be very transparent with that information. You'd have no reason to be anything but transparent with that information. But as it stands, we just don't know. And how can we? Because they're going to keep that information to themselves. And that just leaves us to believe that it's not doing well. And
Yeah, that's the reason why streaming's not releasing their numbers, is because they're not making money. I mean, if they were, they would absolutely release it.
Did you guys see? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Culture.
No, I was just going to say Disney Plus has already told people they don't intend for that part of their streaming service, Disney Plus itself, to be profitable until the end of or after 2024.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
Today, when I saw this article on CNBC talking about the streaming wars, the amount of money put into streaming. So Warner Media / Discovery puts in $20 billion, Netflix $17 billion, and Disney $14 to $16 billion.
Yeah.
So where I get it, the money comes from the subscriptions, but as we're learning right now, Disney's subscription numbers went from like $5.69 a person to $3.99 a person. So like it's just down across the board.
Yeah,
it's a hell of an incentive.
Do you think there's a possibility where like streaming could collapse?
Yeah, well, here's the problem. So ARPU for Disney collapsed. Those numbers came down for a myriad of reasons. You had additional incentive offers, through Xbox and Fortnite and some other stuff where, if you bought X Pack, you got, Disney Plus for free for however long, same kind of stuff. But at the same time, they and I think I talked about it in the video I did a couple days ago. They took their streaming service global way faster than they'd planned. They couldn't amortize some of that expansion. They are utilizing a lot of infrastructure through AWS. Most people don't know that, but a lot of the stuff that they do to make it work is through AWS. But internationally, through that distribution, they're way ahead. Those were supposed to be the pickup ads, right? The pickups that were supposed to come along the way. The U.S. market was supposed to carry everything, and so right now they whatever you want to call it, India, those countries make up about 70 million of the subscriber base that they're claiming, believe it or not. So there's a significant portion outside of the United States, and they ARPU, which is the numbers you were talking about, the average revenue per user or unit, it would have been the old way of talking about it. It fell, and it had to, because it's far cheaper over there. Not only that, every time you bundle some product, the ARPU for all of those things that are bundled come down. So they're doing it to themselves.
They are, and I find it so compelling that we've picked, like, the way of life has accepted streaming. Binge watching had become a thing almost a decade ago. It was never a hard sell to get the world to sit down and watch TV for hours and hours, but we had the huge paradigm shift. If this falls apart, do you think enough people will go back to physical media, or these people will just watch regular TV, or just keep jumping to streaming because we've been spoiled at the convenience of it?
Oh, man, that's a good question. That's a really good question.
But see, you have a movement like with people like us who are already like, well, we really need our physical media. So we're going out finding like special releases through outside, entities to get these things so that we can have them physically, so they can't change. Because here's the other problem with streaming. They're not going to stop where they have already, where you've started to see some things that have been edited. And we're getting off topic, and I apologize for that. That's the magic of me. I will take you off.
Keep on going, man. It's a good show.
But like, for example, Amazon is trying to acquire MGM right now for $9 to $10 billion, right? And the idea for Amazon and a couple of these other streamers is to be able to insert new ads into content that they've purchased. So, like, for example, let's say you're watching The Godfather or something, and instead of on a window on a restaurant that's hand painted, instead of that, or on a grocery, it's now hand painted. They've inserted Whole Foods.
Can I ask like a weird
Is that
question?
what they're trying to do? Holy shit.
I had heard about that, Culture.
Yeah, no, that's all coming. I'm sorry, but go ahead, ask away, Mary.
I have like a weird question, and I'm not even sure how much this may impact it, but that's sort of part of the question. Is like with this whole streaming service thing, and so many people just within the Fandom Menace have started to realize that there are other ways to view a lot of this content that we had access to with our Disney Plus subscriptions that perhaps we no longer have to go that route. Is it not becoming more and more apparent to people that there are simply other ways to access this content, and that may as well
for
be
sure.
It's
I mean, piracy's been a thing.
It's nearly as easy as actually just going to, in fact, I would say in most cases, it's every bit as easy as going to the actual streaming service itself. And instead of chucking them your 6 or even 3, what is they dropped it down to? What did you say? Culture? What did they drop it down to?
Oh, no. When I talk about ARPU, it's the actual value they get from each individual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're still paying. Yeah, you're still paying the, whatever they recently, they kicked it up $1, by the way. The ARPU went down, even though they had a price increase in the US of $1.
No, they increased it by, I wouldn't know. I canceled my Disney Plus.
Yeah. No. I pay attention to the number. But it's just, like I said, I mean, it's these things. And Chris Neville's not wrong. YAR is absolutely true, especially with our friends down in South American countries. They're getting Disney Plus shows.
Okay, here's the thing. I mean, if you know what you're doing, which I do, you can go and set up a server, and certain things can go and pull things down. And I was legitimately getting WandaVision episodes like the morning I woke up. Sometimes it takes a little longer. Like with a Falcon Winter Soldier, it was like maybe a day, maybe 2. But literally, I mean, in some instances, you can get things set up and have it, have the actual TV show and possibly a movie, same day. And all you have to do is set up a Plex server and know the right news groups and stuff, and set up the right applications to pull the stuff down. Yeah. So releasing everything on streaming is such a bad idea, because it's so easy to sail the high seas these days. They really should focus on releasing stuff in the theaters. That way they actually make their money on their show. And I don't have a problem paying for stuff. But for stuff like Disney, which I'm not going to give them an effing dime. No, I'm not.
Well, I mean, but is that part of it? Is that part of the reason why we're seeing this go down? Is because if you're already on the internet, right? If you're already clicking, go to this website and do this thing, and there are multiple safe options in regards to the whole yo-ho, a pirate's life for me tactic. They're out there, and people are becoming, I think, increasingly aware of those options. Is that impacting this at all? Is that
no?
One of the reasons why we're seeing it not be successful?
I think it definitely plays a part. I mean, I don't know how rampant it is, but people are dumb. I did a video on physical media. I think there's a lot of normies out there that know not to get rid of physical media. Mm-hmm. At least they're either geeks or normies. It's hard to tell who watches your channel, right? And you're not familiar with the individual. Sure. But for the most part, I think that there's been a lot of cord cutting. I'm a Gen Xer. I cut the cord too. I'm not going back to cable. No, but I do have my replacement, which is YouTube TV. It's pretty damn convenient, and it's a lot cheaper than cable. But the part of the issue that we're running into with all the freaking streaming services is that it's becoming expensive, just like cable. And that's the thing that these companies need to watch out for, because it's so easy to sail the high seas and get the shows that you watched on TV that you don't need to subscribe to these services. Unless you're making it affordable or consolidated. Because, I mean, that was the beauty of things like Hulu, is you could go there, watch like a bunch of stuff that was, you pay your $15 a month, and then you watch all these things that were from the 90s, 2000s, et cetera, plus, new stuff.
And it felt so affordable compared to like that $60 a month, cable fee that you're paying. It just felt just so much better, right? And that's what I'm wondering, is that because like I was noticing it, right, between the Hulu and the Disney Plus and the Netflix and everything put together, you might as well be having cable. In fact, in some cases, you're paying more than you would have for cable, right? And then on top of that, to go see this new movie, right? At least for like Disney Plus or things like Mulan. you had an additional $30 fee on top of that, right? And so, and maybe you're just one person watching this in your home, and that as is the case for me, right? Like, I'm not giving you $30 to watch this movie. And their response to that was, oh, well, let's put these things in your home that can read how many people are in your living room. Yeah. Fuck that noise.
Well, but see, and that's why, one of the things is these streaming services we're learning, for the very reason you're talking about, is ad-driven video on demand. So you're going to see AVOD products from all of these streamers. I mean, Disney already has theirs ready to go. Warner Media was working on theirs. That one's supposedly going to be out there if it's not already. Paramount Plus. Peacock started with that model. So Hulu started with that model. So if you're willing to accept some commercials, you can pay a lower fee. But you're right when it comes to the Premier Access stuff that Disney was trying to sell everybody on. Who's going to be interested in that?
No.
A family full of kids, maybe. But again, I mean, you look at the Samba data, you look at the some of the other advanced metrics out there. Some of that's guessing, by the way, with Parrot Analytics I'm talking about. But you're seeing that compared to everything else, the most streamed film when it came out, obviously on streaming service, was Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's in this last period of the last year. Snyder Cut beat the heck out of anything anybody else released. So there you go.
Yeah, and I know that aggregators or news groups are kind of difficult. There's things that make it easier, like NZB Get, and then there's NZB Geek, which is the aggregator. It's a lot easier now than actually going through and surfing news groups like you used to. So yeah, that's just the way it is. But the other thing too that is kind of the big issue that makes this kind of limited when it comes to sailing the high seas is drive space. And I know we're trying to joking like a couple, like I guess it was like either last show or the show before about the NAS server I have, and like I have like I want to say like 40 terabytes of disk space, and 20 of that is actually dedicated to movies and TV shows.
Yeah, there are other options though. Comics like there.
Oh yeah, I know there is.
Like it doesn't necessarily come down to drive space either. Although I can see, and it can be a lot of work if you don't have a lot of drive space. You still want to go that route. It might just be worth in terms of the convenience to just go to the streaming service. But there are other options as well. There are places you can go that you don't have to go that route. And if you're crafty enough, or if you're fluent enough, you can find your way to those places. And I feel like that is becoming more and more common for people. Like I'm no tech savvy chick who I don't know what so many things are or mean. And so I can't really navigate in the way that so many people can, but I found my way to places that like just don't ask any of that stuff of me, right? Don't ask for anything from me except like, hey, every once in a while, hey, you know what? Our servers are full right now. You'll have to come back in an hour. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's fine. If I can sort that out, if people can point me in that direction, then I feel like it's so easy a caveman can do it.
I feel like every time you hear about another conglomerate buying something, we're just watching our entertainment way of life go the way of the dinosaurs.
It's the death of competition is what it is.
Well, I was going to speak on that real quick. You're not wrong. I mean, you're about to have a dearth of competition now with Discovery and Warner Media getting together. And this has been happening with the consolidation of these media groups and the fact that they're owned by these entities. They're also combined with the news media. So they can spin anything they want to straight out as what used to be actual news at any moment. So pretty soon you're going to end up with three media groups, maybe four if we're lucky, and that's it. Maybe five if there's like somebody that limps along. But at least in this country, that's what we're looking at, because I think Sony's likely to get picked up. I mean, that, somebody's going to go after them and their catalog. You've got, because that's Colombian stuff. You've got Amazon going to take out, MGM, and that's cheap. That's a bargain bin, whatever you want to call it, there for $9 or $10 billion for Amazon to acquire them. So then they have a studio to operate from. Then at the same time, over Netflix is already operating a full blown studio or 2 or 3. Plus, they buy everybody else's stuff that's just producing it out there across the entire planet. So you have Amazon and Netflix. They're 1 and 2, and they will probably always be that way. And then you're going to have Disney, right, and all of the stuff they own, along with whatever this new Discovery Media, Warner Media thing's going to be. Those are going to be the other 2, and then you've got Paramount Plus running somewhere back over here.
It's hard to keep up. I mean, we have access to too many of them at this point, and I don't watch any of them. It's what is it? That rule of you have too many choices, you never watch anything.
Yeah,
Isn't
pretty
that
much.
Weird? Isn't that the weird thing? I was just noticing that the other day. I was literally sitting here asking myself, why do I still even have Netflix at this point? I never watch it. Like I'm almost to the point where I'm sort of mad at myself because there's really only a few things on there that I give a rat's patoot about. Like I'm looking forward to the next Witcher, but that's a ways down the road. And so I'm just sort of sitting over
You're
here
better
like
off canceling it really. I mean, even if it is for the period of time which you're not using it and then Witcher comes along and you watch it, they cancel it again.
Yeah.
You really are better off. A, you're starving them because, well, Netflix is trash.
Yeah.
And B, just watch the stuff you want and then take off. And if things are better, you can always just go and not give them money.
Now, Mark
is
is
the better
right.
option.
There is some primo anime on there. Death Note is on Netflix, but I've seen it so many times, and so I'm sort of over here like I know where I can find this stuff, guys. I do know, in fact, where I can go find this stuff. It's just over here in this little.
With the anime stuff, I'll be honest with you. I've been buying the anime. I want to support those creators because they're putting out good content. And I went out. I managed to find Go 13 off of eBay. So I got the professional, and then I bought was it Goblin Slayer? I got that off of Amazon.
Why do you have this on the screen, Jeff?
Do you not like this movie?
No one likes this
But
movie.
the title is spot on, though. It's like I don't want Hollywood remaking anime because this is why. Well, let's be honest. This is why.
Because they never do it right. Because I haven't seen any good anime remake, like live action remakes. I've not seen one. I was so excited for that Death Note, for the Death Note remake. It was so bad. I was thinking, oh my God, Ryuk is going to be perfect because what's his face is going to play him, right? And he's got the perfect sounds and he's got the perfect and like he was the only thing that was pretty freaking close, and everything else was completely awful. Andrew killed it with fire. It was so bad. You guys have seen this? It's so awful.
I just sit through it all.
He looks like he's making a fart face the entire way through the movie.
I shit my pants.
Piccolo looks like a Brussels sprout. I can't.
The other thing too, the fact that none of these actors are Japanese. I mean, the fact that they actually kept the character name Bulma. It's like, come on.
Doesn't her name mean bra or whatever?
It means bloomers.
Bloomers. Okay, I knew because there's underwear people and vegetable people in Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yes, yeah. Kakarot is carrot. Obviously, Nappa is a cabbage.
He died. Wait, no. Raditz is the one that dies right away. So,
I'm not gonna front and act like I've seen all the Dragon Ball Z stuff.
It's been a while.
I saw a lot of it on Cartoon Network. I saw some of it on Cartoon Network when I was younger, but again, it's been a while, right? So, but that was a bad movie. It was he did look like it was way wetter than he thought it was going to be the entire way through the movie. So, sorry, Culture. Culture's face right now is giving me life.
What do you guys say about the survey? Let's look at this for a minute because I know there's a huge amount of people in the audience that have given up on a lot of Western media. They're like, I'll just watch anime and manga. I got Wheezy Bird, Jack White, and all these guys that send me stuff. This is the one I wanted to show last week, folks, but my computer was acting stupid. But yeah, we got crap. There we go. This one right here. It's called Unland Saga or Uniland Saga. Ooh. It's awesome and it's a really cool book. I love it. So check it out.
I went out and got that Megalo box that you guys were talking about.
Oh, did you watch it?
No, I need a fucking Blu-ray player.
I don't have one either if it makes you feel any better.
Well, I guess that maybe I could use my Xbox. And I was going to rip it and put it on my Plex server, but my ripping software is terrible. So I need to get that shit working again.
Handbrake.
Hey, I tried Handbrake. Handbrake didn't work.
God, that was so bad. Fucking kill me, please.
Oh, dude,
Jesus, that
that
was
was
just
And
such
to
a
think
ter-
two of these actors went on to go and play in the TV show Shameless.
I haven't
Right.
seen that.
But this particular film was trash or whatever
yeah.
it was, and the here's the thing, right? So because of what this article's about in Bounding, I have to ask: are any of you excited for Cowboy Bebop?
The
No.
live action one, no.
Oh my gosh, they have the right actors, but then they're screwing up characters and doing. I just why?
Well, the fact that they don't want to have Ein be a corgi is trash. I think they made him a German Shepherd. It's just like no, and it's like Faye Valentine was supposed to be Japanese. I think to a degree Spike is supposed to be Japanese as well, and obviously Jet is not. But it's like, come on, stop screwing up the anime stuff.
Didn't John Cho get hurt making it?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't paid attention to any of the news with that show whatsoever.
There was some COVID concerns in New Zealand and stuff. I can't remember specifically about any of that. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you.
And
Here
then
we go.
he looks nothing like Spike.
I agree.
I think first off he's too short and he's not tall and lanky.
Yeah.
And by the way, he did get hurt a couple years ago filming it, out for like 7 to 9 months. So I don't know.
Jeez.
Wow. You have a great memory. Holy cow.
I actually really like John Cho as an actor because I love Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Oh yeah, he's great. I mean, I think he's funny as hell.
Well, anytime I see him in the news or Cal Penn, I go Harold and Kumar. So I pay attention to him because I watched that movie probably 100 times. Fucking love it.
Cal Penn turned into a dipstick, but yeah.
Didn't he quit acting to go work for the White House?
Yeah, he did.
And then he came back to acting and he's still a dipstick. So
Yep. Yeah, he was in House and he quit House and they killed his character off because he went to go work for the Obama administration.
Yeah. And on that, I'm thinking, dude, you took a major pay cut and downgrade in your lifestyle, but whatever, bro. So,
I don't know who will play you, Vicious. Cast yourself, folks. Cast yourself in any of your anime adaptations. But personally, I don't want to see another one. We had Speed Racer, and yeah, that's technically an anime adaptation. That movie was dog shit. God, was it 2008? Yeah. And then
back a long ways.
Yeah. There's never been a good one. I guess Alita Battling, I've never seen it, so I can't say. I didn't hate Ghost in the Shell, but that's just me. So
I thought Alita was fine.
You know, I never actually saw Alita. I've seen a lot of reviews of Alita. A lot of people loved Alita, and a lot of people said that it was overall pretty like not one-to-one, but a good representation of the source material. And so like I get it, but that's far too rare. That's not often enough, right? And I think that's it's kind of weird and off topic, but it's a good thing to point at when you recognize that the people who love this stuff are clearly not in charge. The people who understand this material are clearly not in charge. And that's kind of rampant across
everywhere,
all entertainment everywhere.
Yep.
And it's getting really, really frustrating at this point, especially when you get into like the anime manga stuff, because those fans are die hard. Like, if you're not going to get this right, step right off. Like, nobody wants this at all. Like, why is it so difficult? Why is something like Lord of the Rings such a unicorn? Why is that? Why is this so difficult?
Oh, wait, we talk about like the trilogy that came out in the 90s, 2000s. Why is it a unicorn? Because you had one guy helming it and somebody who actually gave a shit about the source material. That's what it comes down to. It wasn't created by committee, which is what most entertainment is being created by today.
And look what happened the second a major studio got its hands on it, even with Peter Jackson at the helm. I mean, that's why he walked away from the project originally. You know, it was a long time in the making. He was
with The Hobbit or...
The Hobbit, yeah. He walked away originally. It was going to be Guillermo del Toro because Peter Jackson did not like the amount of control the studio was exerting. They brought in Guillermo del Toro, moved forward the vision. Finally, he left because everything took too long. They begged and pleaded. Peter Jackson came back on, but he did not have nearly the level of creative control that he did on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it just shows you how kind of fucked up the studio system is, and if you really want to create something good, you kind of have to not be involved, because even if you go and you take a look at the Joker movie, which is fantastic, it's not a movie about the Joker. It was a repurposed script, and I'm pretty sure somebody said, "Hey, you want them to make this movie? Just rename it to the Joker and change a few things here and there, and then your movie will get made." And I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
Right? That's being too generous. Studios they buy people's scripts now, and you don't even get the writing credit anymore. They get an independent person who writes a script, it gets bought. They just have one of their studio writers rewrite it to fit whatever they're trying to sell, they're trying to package, and then change it enough so that you don't even get a proper credit.
I was going to say, Mary, to answer at least my take on your question about why is Lord of the Rings a unicorn, I think it comes down to time. All these great film craft, you can't rush through a Star Wars movie or you get The Rise of Skywalker, but you sadly overdo it, hurt the budget a little bit in the schedule, but you make The Empire Strikes Back. So where's the balance? Do you make the all-time great, which makes all of its money? The Empire Strikes Back is a huge hit. Or do you keep rushing these things out? And I think sometimes time is the most important aspect. And anybody that rushes it never makes it. It's DC to Marvel.
Does that come back on us at all as the fans, as the patrons of these movies? Have we set a bar that we're so impatient that we can't wait for a good product, that we have to have whatever they slap together with some duct tape and aluminum foil? Does that come back on us, or should we be more vocal with
partially? I think what it comes down to is, let's be honest. Okay, if you're a nerd and a geek, these movies really aren't for you. They're for the general audience, and they kind of have to be, because if you're like a Marvel Comics fan, you're not going to get anything that's truly from the comics, right? Because it has to be normieized. That way, it actually makes money, especially if you have this large inflated budget. So it's not just on us. It really is the entertainment consuming public as a whole that needs to start rejecting this stuff. Anything, and we've all talked about this. If the company hates you, don't buy their product. Mm. And that's what people, I think, are slowly waking up to. It's the reason why they discover our channels, right? Is because they saw this movie, they had a problem with it, and they're being told that they're a terrible person for hating this movie or TV show. And then they're like, oh, wow, there's other people that hate it too. Maybe the issue is not me. Maybe it's this company.
Well, Mary, I was going to say, I think there's a I think we've been conditioned for a lower attention span, smaller attention spans. And I think this is a response to a lot of that. Pay attention to the social media. It's Twitter's so many characters, TikTok's a couple seconds. It used to be, you got a 30 whatever second Vine. Now it's even smaller. We're just pumping out smaller little bits of information. People don't even take the time to process it. I think that is where we are. Hopefully enough people out there make something for everyone else, because if we keep going down this path of whole squirrel, let me make sure the audience only has to pay attention for a minute, there's going to be nothing that sticks around. Mm-hmm. No one's going to give a shit anymore.
Well,
what were you going to say, Colton?
That's the problem with making things digestible, and that's what they were going to do. But at the same time, you've seen epic failures when it comes to kind of serving that attention span. I mean, the freaking Quibi would be the primary example. They spent $2 billion worth of money, and that thing destroyed itself in 7.5 months. So it's just, there's a market for a greater attention span, but you're not wrong. I mean, we have been served information in little tiny bite-sized consumable nuggets. And so it that's kind of, it's a form of conditioning, but hey, I mean, one of the problems with Twitter is, I guess it was built on an SMS platform, so it was limited in characters, so you weren't going to be able to do some of the stuff that you wanted to do, which is why Minds is vastly superior, right? Because it was built from the ground up. So again, I mean, it all is going to come down to, what the audience wants. But I tell you what, I'm sick and tired of being labeled toxic because I don't like a piece of crap that they're trying to serve to me as a masterpiece.
Why didn't they take a page out of Sonic's movie, the Sonic movies book? Like
Oh, gosh.
it was sort of like they put up a little sign, that said, "Please pardon our dust while we get this taken care of." And then the movie did exceptionally well. And you would think that would sort of be like this giant, like neon flashing sign to Hollywood that says, "Oh, so it turns out that fans are actually pretty patient and willing to forgive a whole lot." And I think that's like representative of people in general.
You're right, but look at how the access media responded to that.
Well, yeah, but that's fuck.
Who has more clout, the viewing audience or the access media?
Well, why is that? Like, that's such a bizarre thing to me. Why is it that the access media has this big, giant clout aspect when at the end of the day, it's the people who are doing like the actual paying and buying of this content that should be the benchmark for where it is that you focus your attention and your reconciliation, right? Like, we were very patient. How is it that this message hasn't been received? Like, what do we have to do to get Hollywood to take a look and notice, like, but we're good with this. Like, just give us the good product. And like, I agree with comics. Like, look, obviously the Marvel movies aren't representative of the comic books exactly, but they're similar and familiar enough that people are willing to give them a whole lot of patience. Like, even comic book fans, hardcore comic book fans, are willing to step into those movies and go, okay, so it's not the same thing, obviously, but this feels really familiar. And I feel like the heart of a lot of these characters, obviously not all of them. I know a lot of people who are really pissed about the Spider-Man stuff, but a lot of the heart of these characters has been maintained. Or is it maybe something to do with the fact that a lot of these characters were C-list characters for Marvel, and so people weren't necessarily as familiar, and so that's why there was more leeway given?
I don't know. I mean, look at did he have the bounce? For me, I thought it was Cole took the bounce. What happened to Jeff? Anyway, take a look at Iron Man. Iron Man was not a A-list superhero.
No.
Okay. I mean, and technically neither was Cap or Thor. And that's the reason why, but they made them big. They made us care about these characters. I mean, they are iconic. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not crapping on these characters because, I call them, they're not A-list, but the A-list characters are Spider-Man and the X-Men, but of course, they couldn't start with those characters because, none of them were actually being, owned by, I guess, Paramount at the time. So they had access to the Avengers, and they did a great job of kicking that off the ground.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, I mean, you have to go back a little farther than that when they tried to, get Marvel Studios off the ground, and they had some like medium, awful, terrible movies before they got to Iron Man, and that is the brilliance of Jon Favreau, and his absolute insistence that the part be played by RDJ.
Yeah, he honestly was like perfect.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he like the whole like I am Iron Man that resonated in everyone who watched, like everyone who saw that. Robert Downey Jr. And look, at the time, you have to keep in mind, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't like some big. He had been, but Robert Downey Jr. was off of everybody's radar for a long, long time. Like, don't like it was.
Won't do that to you.
It was it was a total comeback, right? Like for him, that was a smash out of the park, and it was this perfect casting with him. And nobody could have seen that. You can't say that it was handed to him because he was some big A-list celebrity in Hollywood, because he really wasn't at the time. They went about the proper casting tactics with Marvel, and it's so weird to see this stuff being placed on a back burner when you know how this worked out for you in the beginning, when you took your time to carefully and appropriately cast people, when you know what it looks like when you are fully invested about who works in this role and not some identity politics side salad bullshit going on, right? Like, how did they lose that?
But some of the things changed, Mary. I mean, okay, so we were just talking about the brilliance of the first Iron Man film, right? And getting the casting right, giving the creator what they wanted. Because believe me, Jon Favreau had to twist a lot of arms to make that happen. And, and you end up with a great film. Well, as things progressed on and Feige took control over, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they're dialing back the need for quote unquote showrunners, or they're going more to the theatrical model where they have a head writer kind of person that's running things, and that's about it. And the tales are out there about Jack Schaefer saying that she didn't even know anything about some of the characters she was, were part of her show for.
Oh yeah, they hired someone who was completely clueless.
Yeah, and so it's a weird, it's morphed into something different, and that's what they want to push, right? But here's the thing: Disney wants to make all of the stuff as turnkey as possible. It's not just Marvel; they wanted to make Star Wars the same way. They thought that with Kathleen Kennedy they could do that. That's one of the reasons why they brought in Jon Favreau to kind of kickstart the Star Wars back into the right direction, and up until events he had, right? But I don't predict that Mandalorian season 3 is going to be equal to what season 2 finished on.
I'm not even sure why they're doing a Mandalorian season 3. Didn't it feel like they stuck the cap on the pin and did that not feel like this?
They have to be able to spin characters out of it. So that's their show to spin stuff out of. Just like with Iron Man, right? You were able to spin stuff out of it, and then it just kind of got bigger. And then you had cameos of people in each other's shows. It's the same pattern that they're going to follow with all the Star Wars shows on D+, right? It's out there.
But what's stupid to me is that they feel the need to spin shows out of it. That to me seems ridiculous because look,
I agree.
we're talking about the characters that are well known, established, and loved. But you don't need an Ahsoka springboard. You don't need a Boba Fett springboard. You don't need a springboard for most of the characters that are getting
they're doing that for the
spin-offs.
people who didn't watch the cartoons, right? I mean, that's the reason why they did it.
Nobody's me. Nobody went to see Star Wars in 77 when they were a little kid, right? In the theaters. Nobody's me. They're trying to appeal to audiences that are walking away from terrestrial television and even some of the streaming stuff, right? They're trying to recapture an audience's attention that hasn't paid attention. So they may not actually know who Boba Fett is, right? They may have remembered him fondly, or some of them may have remembered him fondly from as little Boba from the prequel trilogy, but they don't have, it's not a touchstone for them, Mary. So that's why they have to spin these characters out. A lot of people didn't read the expanded universe, right? So you're looking at they have to reintroduce these characters, which is why you're getting Book of Fett, which is why you're going to get an Ahsoka show, which is because they want to capitalize on what people do know about Ahsoka. It's the same kind of thing, but they are having to spin these things out of a place. I mean, you were supposed to get the Night Owls faster than you are. You were supposed to get the Gina Carano driven Rangers of the New Republic. All of these things were supposed to happen in a particular order. These were all the little babies that were being hatched. All the little entities that were being created by Filoni and Favreau, right? Yeah. So now they derailed the shit out of it. I mean, holy cow.
There was hope. I'm not trying to be funny and parody Star Wars this time, but there was kind of hope because you're like, all right, even if you have anyone out there has complaints about The Mandalorian, it's still better than what we got with the sequels. So it's like, well, there's kind of something. So people were kind of having hope. And then things were possibly announced. Things were going in a certain direction and people were getting excited. And like you're talking about culture, I think they've shit the bed royally, just the way they've handled everything.
Oh God, yes. I mean, going back to what we're talking about, the whole thing with Sonic was, the reason why, obviously the fans applauded, the change because it looked terrible, but you have the Access Media. Don't give those nerds what they want. You're bending the knee to them. It's like, these are the people that are buying your product. And that's like the problem with Rotten Tomatoes. It stopped being about people going and leaving their feedback on a movie. It's become about pushing a narrative, and that's the reason why the Access Media got angry, is because God forbid these companies actually listen to the people that buy the product. We can't have that. They need to listen to us, the Access Media.
Yeah, but of that, I mean, and a lot of that comes out of the fact that obviously Penske Media Group owns every major trade except for the Wrap at this point, which I think they rebranded themselves, but it essentially they own Deadline, they own Variety, they own all that crap, right? I think they own THR. So, they're the mouthpiece of the studio insiders, or the way, the people that are trying to spin these narratives. So that's where all those stories come from, because they don't like the toxic fans, the people that don't accept their vision of what these characters should be, and not what. This is why nobody's going to accept Clark Kent, and this is not a racial thing, guys. This is a true statement I'm about to say, that nobody's going to accept Clark Kent as a black Superman.
Mhm.
Okay,
No.
and it doesn't even matter that it's Ta-Nehisi Coates writing it. Really?
Well, yeah. I mean, going back to that, special words, zeitgeist. When certain characters exist in the zeitgeist, if you go and change them up, people are not going to react positively to it.
Mhm.
It's the reason why you can race swap some characters, but you can't do that with others.
Yeah, I've been looking at all these posts, or all these Facebook posts. I rarely see a lot of positivity, because if we just take it back, we'll talk about Captain Marvel real quick. It seemed fairly split. You had people that's like, this looks like shit. People were like, yeah, this looks great. I just keep seeing people post, like, a guy will post, oh, this is my dream casting for the Superman movie. And then there's just walls of people saying, look, it's not a good idea and it's not going to work. I'm personally not seeing shit where people are saying, oh, offensive things or questionable things. It's just, as a matter of fact, as you're saying it, Culture. I think we're about to see one of the biggest fiascos of in a superhero movie ever, because this is not Superman. One thing that people forget about when they want to make comics and adapt these comic book movies and stuff, comic books are a visual medium. Just because it doesn't say in the text, Superman is a white whatever dude or Kryptonian, he looks like that on screen. People look one-to-one. I have complaints about when a costume's not close enough. Just trying to move further away from the source material hurts. Go watch Hancock if you want a black Superman story.
Well, can I point out something super hypocritical here? That the same people who validate the fact that they make these superhero movies in the way that they make them, that aren't one-to-one for the comics, because you can't do that, right? And you've got to make it for the mainstream and blah blah blah, are then in the same breath turning around and using these sort of off-brand, like Elseworlds, not Earth Prime or whatever it is that's relevant to that specific comic universe, examples that are extremely obscure that nobody fucking knows about, as excuses to then bring in various race swaps or color palettes or gender swaps, right? That's so bizarre.
But the conversation is even different than that, because and Mary, you're not wrong, but the reason that they've accelerated the story paths for all of this stuff was because they want to get to their version of these characters, right? That's why we've skipped decades and decades of material. I think Gary said it. Everybody said this. It's 100% true. But they need to leave it in some alternate universe, Mary, like you were saying, because they need an escape hatch for when all of this crap crashes, and they need to go back to something that's going to generate revenue. And believe me, Marvel's going to have 2 films that are going to crater coming up here in the next 12 months, let's say, and the next DC project is not going to go well. I'm just saying. So
I don't even know what DC has lined up at this point anymore.
Suicide Squad. They have a couple things that they're working on, but it's I like I said, I think you're going to see 2 bombs in Marvel that are it's going to reset some people's clocks, because they both are not getting
2.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm talking about 2 that are not getting a Chinese release.
What are your? Oh, okay. So Shang-Chi, and what was the other one?
The Eternals, which is the absolute rainbow, like, wet dream of anybody who wants diversity out there. And I'm hard. That's kind of a harsh way to say that, but I apologize to those that might be offended. Well, no, actually, I don't really care. But the thing is that it's not going to work, and it's not going to China. They hate the director. They don't like her. And in Shang-Chi, they are offended because they didn't change the villain enough. And these stories, not a lot of people know about Shang-Chi, but people have heard about the Eternals. Again, not a lot of people, so they're going back to, as Mary said, B C-list people. But these things are going to crash.
Well, and those characters could work if they actually,
if they did them right,
introduce them earlier. I mean, they half-assed Captain Marvel, and we know that they had a Captain Marvel movie planned. They initially had an Inhumans movie planned. I want to say also that they're planning on having Captain Marvel come out earlier, but for whatever reason that got changed up. But it's like they should have introduced the Eternals, maybe in phase 3 phase 2, maybe. I don't know. Kind of like how they started hinting at Doctor Strange in phase 2. There's all these things that they could have done to introduce these characters and get people interested in them, and then pass the torch, and then the movie would flop because it went woke. But I mean, the problem with Endgame, it was a jumping off point, and a lot of people jumped off, and you're not going to see those returns that we had with the previous phases of the MCU. Nobody cares anymore.
Well, when you have, like, let's just use the comic book production as an example, but like Iron Man books don't go away when they want to put out a new title. Spider-Man, their top character, doesn't stop getting made because they want to try new stuff. We're in a weird place where all the other Captain America and Iron Man aren't getting made anymore. The biggest characters aren't around. So like, all right, yeah, we had all of them come out at once. It would have been cool to maybe stretch it out and put other random shit in between. At least
and not only that, they're replacing them with the knockoffs that they tried in 2015 that absolutely flopped, and you're about to see history repeat itself, folks, because nobody, as much as people slightly complained about Sam Wilson as Captain America, they did the same thing with Bucky when Bucky was Cap. People want Steve Rogers to be Captain America, and obviously when people complain, they turn it into a race thing, saying, you fans are racist because you can't handle Black Captain America, which is completely untrue. They just want Steve Rogers to be Steve Rogers, and that's Captain America. Now, people, for the most part, are fine if it's temporary, but they were legit planning on making it permanent. And they reversed that decision in Secret Empire because, my God, it did not play well for Marvel. People, fans, casual fans, a lot of people were pissed off when they made Captain America Nazi, that they had to reverse this decision. And even then, the Captain America that we have is not the real Captain America. The real Captain America is still a Nazi. The one that we have now is a cheap knockoff from the Cosmic Cube. And they literally destroy the character.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I like to talk about money, right? Dollars and cents. Is this going to make a profit? It failed at a comic book level. So they're going to make the same mistakes they made before in multi-$100 million properties.
I was literally just about to say, you are about to make the exact same mistakes that you just watched play out horribly, but not only horribly, but it's irreversible, right? Like, you have to make the better choice because you can't go back to Steve Rogers. The guy's a human. He's in real life. He's aging. He's mortal. He can't just come back and take on these roles like you can draw a character to do, right? You have to make good decisions, and you have to take those pages from the history of the comics and go, okay, so this didn't work here. Let's find a better way to translate this on the movies, because those missteps are magnified by 1,000,000 when you do that on the screen.
And one thing that Anubis T800 points out is, oh God, I hate Civil War II and Secret Empire. A lot of fans did. I mean, over the last 10 years, the events that Marvel has put out were terrible. Axis was terrible, and the Inhumans versus X-Men was terrible. I mean, the events that they've been putting out for over a decade at this point have just been shit.
I agree 100%. The one in 2014, I guess it was Secret Empire 2 or Secret War 2, excuse me. One of them pissed me off to the point where I stopped reading comic books. It was so dumb. Marvel had this weird influx of characters that I don't know who the hell they are, never really cared who they were. They put them at the forefront, and then when you read them, they're not that interesting. I mean, you go into these movies, and you're supposed, like the Guardians of the Galaxy. I had never read a Guardians comic book. I knew who Rocket Raccoon was because I'd seen him in other comic books and shit. But I went in, and I had a great time. Like, I think that's the way they're supposed to do it, not the other way.
Well, again, that comes down to the casting aspect and taking not just the casting, obviously, but taking this stuff seriously, with your first priority being the product that you put out, right? When that's clearly front and center on your plate, right? When that is the main course, when that is the meat of the meat and potatoes, right? When that's the thing that you are focused on, you're going to have a way better shot at putting out a good product or a good end product, as opposed to having all of this focus shifted over onto these incidentals, which don't ultimately impact the end product in any way other than that it took your focus away from actually putting something good out there.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that Perry White says that, he jumped off when DC released New 52, which is ironic because at this point, for a number of years, I had not been buying comics, and that's when I jumped back into it because they were doing that reset. And I wasn't wowed by it. There are certain things I liked. I wasn't really reading Superman. I know that was like the one that had the biggest problem. The Batman one was okay, but Rebirth was great.
I like that more myself.
And they went and fucked it up.
I stuck through the New 52 for a couple years and pretty loyal in terms of okay, so I know they did New 52 new titles, but whatever the first week was, my buddy and Joel and I, we got the books that we knew we wanted to collect, but then we picked other ones and we kind of just read each other's because we were so into the launch. And I liked Scott Snyder's Batman, especially with Greg Capullo as the artist. He's a great artist. But once they got
Capullo's great.
0 Year, I think that was the one where the Riddler was the big bad guy and Batman had like a mech robot suit and Jim Gordon was involved.
Oh yeah, that was like that wasn't year 0. That was like after the Joker stuff where Batman and Joker allegedly killed each other, and it turns out Bruce had amnesia. Yeah, I mean the whole thing was weird.
It was. I wanted to like it because DC was trying. I always want to reward one of these companies when they're like, look, we're going to try to win back the fans with something. I'm like, all right, that's different. Like when they did Flashpoint to jump into the New 52, I really liked that. I know I was one of those people that, I love the Flashpoint Batman stuff, even though some people don't, but I thought that was cool. That was unique. And that was really worth a damn. And when you get a comic book company that's willing to do that, I'm willing to go out on a limb for him, but just across the board, nobody tries to recognize. Here's my problem. I don't even mind if you want to make the same character 55 times over, put him in different settings. Like John Wick is unique and interesting. Each one, different set pieces. It's the same shit killing people, but it's cool. I could watch 10 movies of Iron Man if he did cool shit each time. This trying to restart fresh each and every couple of iterations is what kills it.
Yeah, what they need to do is basically just recast and pretend like nothing happened.
Now, let's take a moment to address the audience because we had a lot of super chats. And I don't want to keep people waiting. So, folks, thank you to everybody who supports the channel. Now, first off, Geeky Pixie with the first super chat of the night says, love from Wolfpack showing love to the Miss Alpha. Hail the hashtag Fandom Menace.
Yay! Hi, Pixie.
Thank you, Geeky Pixie, for your super chat. Roger H gives us a thumbs up. Thank you very much, Roger H. Great to have you here. 007 Cloud says, I knew comics would be here for you, bro. Comics is a great dude, and I always love having him on the High Council.
Yeah, it's always fun, man.
Waiting for Nerdrotic gives a flexing emoji. Thank you very much, Waiting for Nerdrotic. Vicious says, to the third chapter to the High Council, or the High Council, excuse me. Well, Vicious, thank you very much. I'm excited. I've always been excited to do the show at each iteration because it's never the same each week. So we'll see where we go. I always liken us to the Avengers. There's never one. So there are a couple different versions of the teams that people consider iconic. So, there's a lot of crossover too. Captain America and Iron Man are in a lot of those. I love those Fandom Menace posters where they'll like put our heads over the superheroes. Those are always my favorite ones.
I just request to be Wonder Woman if you guys are going to do that, please.
You sure you want to be in the
we'll make you Batman.
Okay, no, look. If they had the good refaces of Linda, I would go that route, right? But I get it. I'm just saying, I actually love Wonder Woman, and I think it's okay to love Wonder Woman despite what I don't agree with in terms of the Snyder stuff. I feel like that's okay. Plus, I make a pretty beast Wonder Woman. You've seen it, right? Yeah.
It's the hair. It's the hair.
Hold on, let me see if I can. Hold on, I'll.
Well, while you're pulling that up, let me read Latino Slant Super Chat, who says, want to send my love and support to Jeff and the new High Council. Great people all. Have a great stream, locos. Well, Latino Slant, thank you very much for your Super Chat. I hope we do get to meet up at that barbecue one day that we had talked about. We're pretty local to each other, so reach out and let's connect. Our friend Servant of God 777 says, Bree in Kong is good. Bree in Star Wars,
You did that really well.
I'm thinking about Brie Larson in Star Wars, and it's easy to just.
I worried about your rug a little bit for a second there.
Well, we're leaving the apartment in a couple days, so I don't care. As long as we don't set the fire to the rug, it's cool. Marty McFly style. So we also have our friend Caffeinated Wolf. He says, "Hail WCBS Comics, hashtag Fandom Menace, and the BEA Beautiful Mary Mayhem. Looking forward to a fantastic show with an equally awesome panel." Well, Caffeinated Wolf, thank you very much. And I know we're only an hour into the show, but I think you got your wish. You fished your wish. Now it's really going to get fun.
Welcome, Mary. Comics and culture.
Today's Satan, we are done.
The hose again.
I left.
Thank you, SH Rebels 08. Mary, I apologize in advance. We will come up with some kind of compensation for Buffalo Jeff emotional damage.
Do not want. Do not want.
Well, Buffalo Jeff doesn't care.
That's fair. That's fair.
Now, also to oh crap, what was I gonna say, folks? We have over 1,000 people watching, but we only have 618 thumbs up. So do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button to let us know that you like the High Council. Full transparency, I move this week. I keep moving it back about Good Morning Pop Culture, but as soon as I get into the office, Good Morning Pop Culture, I will appear on video. We're getting things set up the right way. WCBS is going to have a lot more on-camera presence. I apologize in advance for some. Most people will be very happy because we're going to take it to a new level. So what I'm trying to get at is, folks, hit that thumbs up button. I will give you 5 Good Morning Pop Cultures guaranteed, and we'll keep adding those on if we keep hitting that milestone. So just expect a nice month plus of Good Morning Pop Cultures. They will be Monday. We'll get up. We'll have some fun together. We also have a few more that we're going to read now, and then we're going to jump back into some topics. Black Angus Reviews, thank you very much. He says, "Let's make the Fandom Menace fun again, like when Solo bombed." Dude,
it did. It lost money. Some might say.
Yeah, well, it's nice that my Solo was more successful than their Solo. So thank you, Disney.
Yeah, they did great.
That movie, real quick, jumping back, Black Angus Reviews, back to their to 2018. That was the time where me personally, making the videos, I was always in this rush to do shit, but it was always like we kept having new things to talk about with Disney Star Wars. They kept putting their foot in their mouths all the time. If anything, and also to the people that reported on it, if anything, the Fandom Menace at least got some people to stop trying to make it overtly political in the reporting side. And those were the most fun days because it was like, oh, Solo's this, Solo's that, and then it fails. And so then they try to justify it with, is it the fault of white guys? Is it the fault of that? Really, it's Kathleen Kennedy firing directors midway through the movie and really not having a unified vision, Disney.
My favorite were the Access Media articles that came out about how The Last Jedi was about Luke Skywalker's toxic masculinity. Those are the things that, honestly, that I missed that really kind of made my day because of how stupid they were.
Everyone got worse and worse to the point where Scott Mendelson became my buddy. That man got me so many clicks. I love his terrible takes. But all the buzzwords that they would associate with Star Wars fans, it didn't work. It really just hurt because they became redundant. It's when a word, when you overuse a word, it loses its meaning. A lot of these accusations they want to throw at people, it's like, yeah, it sucks that you call me these things, but after the 1,000th time for me not liking a movie makes me a racist, I just can't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
The efficacy has worn off. Yes. So, let's see. We had a couple more I would like to read before we jump in. Loki's Morning Mischief says, "Keep rocking, High Council. Congrats, gentlemen, and a big shout out to Mary."
Aw, thanks, Loki. I've been meaning to try to talk to that guy. He's someone who people keep telling me, hey, this is a good guy. You got to go talk to him. So, yeah, let's touch base, man.
Well, Loki, thanks for joining us on the High Council tonight, and thank you for your super chat. Now, folks, I have a question, and to the panel, too. Loki, I know this is a very anti-Disney panel. Is there any value that you guys see from the Loki footage?
What Loki footage?
I didn't know there was Loki footage. Yeah.
That's how much I think people care about this TV show.
Fair enough. It was a trailer.
Well, look, I considered myself something of a Hiddlestoner for a while, right? Like he was.
Is that a thing? Is that a fucking thing?
It's a thing. Yes, it's a thing. It's a thing. There's something about Loki, right? So I consider myself something of a Hiddlestoner for a while, and I love the character of Loki. And I think that in terms of him being like a trickster god, it makes sense that, oh, I'm gone, and I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm back, and I'm gone. And, like, it's a lot of fun to kind of like dance around with Loki, because if it makes sense for anybody to be revived over and over again, and you're like, how the fuck are you where did you come from? He's the guy, right? But at this point, that does begin to wear on you after a while, and it feels a bit played out. So,
well,
but I haven't seen the footage either.
They're retconning his history. They're not making him be a bad person anymore. They're making it was the Mind Stone or one of the Infinity Stones that had influence. Yeah, they're retconning it.
No.
Yeah.
You shut your mouth, comics. No.
Yeah, I'm serious. And that's the thing, which is so ridiculous about it. I mean, it's like, come on. It's like, not only, well, of course, they're bastardizing mythology. It's the appeal of the character. It is who the character is supposed to be, and it's like now you're going to retcon him to make him be a good person. It's like, come on. And I think they tried this in the comics too. They did. So this is right out of the all new, all different Marvel playbook. That's exactly where this is coming from. So yeah, what we're getting from now on is, it's not like this should be a mystery, because I know a lot of us have said this. We're getting, all new, all different new MCU. That's what it is.
That's horse shit.
It is horse shit. It's true.
Now. I'm so mad right now. There's literally no reason to watch Loki except for that. That's it. That is it. That's the only reason. There's nothing. Like, you would have to completely, like, how are you going to make him interesting? The only fun thing about Loki is what a little shit he is. Like, that's it. Like, it's this likable sort of weird vulnerability with Loki that, like, you feel like there's a person in there, but he's way deep down. And so for the most part, he's just kind of, but when he smiles, it's so evil and diabolical. And so that's literally the entire appeal. You remove that, you have nothing fun left. There's no reason. Like I want my money back right now. I'll go full fucking Karen.
I want all the money back from the MCU that I spent on it. I feel like I'm getting honey dicked because
you are.
Because I am getting honey dicked. That's why I feel like it. But
Jeff, you're getting honey dicked.
I'm fucking leaving.
I like it a lot.
Shit.
Well, Mary, thanks for the one episode you were here. I really appreciate it. Culture, you want to take Mary's spot?
I can handle Buffalo Jeff. It does make the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. But
I was gonna say, you don't even need a wig.
Come on, Culture. You know you love it.
How the fuck is comics doing it that good too?
Mary, we can all doing so well.
I'm going to get my teddy bear. I'm going to get my teddy bear. I'm seriously going to get my teddy bear.
You basically talk with your mouth closed.
Oh, I love it. Folks, now that I know Mary is as afraid of Buffalo Jeff as Dion, this show has got a lot more fun.
Oh, fuck you in your left ear.
That's okay. My right one's my favorite. Mary, this is going to be fun. I feel like I need to get her one of those like stress balls because she's going to be so nervous. Like, oh God, is he going to use the voice?
Maybe.
You never know. It can happen anytime.
Where did the voice touch it?
Yeah.
I'm squeezing the hell out of this poor thing's foot.
Now, let's read a few more super chats, and then we will get back into one of our bigger topics, the Disney losses. So, the dude, thank you very much. Great screen name. Love the Big Lebowski says, always funny in Pangea has a new video on his channel. And Mr. Dongs, if you've ever need anything, IMK, man, twirls White Russian.
What?
I'll let you know, dude, if I need anything. You can hook me up with a White Russian. I live by a Ralph's. I'll go get some heavy cream. You take care of the rest. Now, I need to check out It's Always Funny in Pangea because It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is one of my favorite shows. So that'd be fun. Slash and Burn Theory says if they bring Mara Jade, they might as well redo the sequel trilogy. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but they're not.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Here's the thing: you're like laboring under the delusion that they give a flying fuck about continuity.
No, actually, if they don't care about continuity, they could redo the sequel trilogy. They could fix a lot of the things that were pointed out. They could abandon the idea that Luke, Leia, and Han were going to be in it at all. Maybe Luke, right? Because he's the only one that seems to be. I mean, Hamill's probably the only one that seems to be interested in it. You know, and he doesn't mind, you know, playing a, you know, slow old dude. So I don't know, but they could certainly rewrite new stories around that. You know, they just have to they don't even have to get rid of the sequel trilogy as it stands. They could just divert back to that point in time and move forward from there. So in a different timeline.
Could you imagine what the reaction of the normal audience would be? Star Wars Episode 7 again? How would you, honestly, give me your best guesses, guys. How would you market that? Let's say Disney goes, there's value in this. Let's do this tomorrow. When the trailer drops, what are you going to sell? That whole trilogy, actually, all of Disney Star Wars is just pulling at your heartstrings with the member berries. Where do you go? We're all full of them.
You start with like Episode 10, the Eye of the Veil, right? And it pulls you back in time. 11 would, you know, essentially just, you know, carry the story forward through what would have been a similar timeline that, you know, mirrors TLJ, only you make a good movie.
Actually like that culture, like you actually had a sincere take right there, like how you might actually do it. All I could think was like the voiceover guy coming across going, in a world where no one gives a fuck. Like that's literally all I could think. You were trying so hard there.
But here's the thing, you would have people, because there are still people that are desperate for their Star Wars. They just don't have it. And you have this little group of people that think that this is Star Wars, right? And those people would be like maybe displaced briefly, but once the hype got out, I mean, those people were fickle fans to begin with. I mean, they showed up late to the party when it came to this property. So, you know, it is what it is. But you could do it. I think I could probably put together an outline. I don't know. I think you could. There's plenty of.
I think the question is at this point, culture, it's like, would anyone fucking care?
Maybe.
I don't. Well, look, I think it depends. I think there's a lot more goodwill, and like, okay, before everybody tries to string me up, okay, I think that there's a lot of goodwill. People in general, it turns out, they tend to find themselves more forgiving than maybe even they realized that they had it in them to be, especially for something that they loved, for something that they truly, truly loved, right? And so if you found yourself in a position where you saw that there was something that you deemed to be a genuine, sincere attempt at making it right, I think you would have a lot.
Yeah, sure. I think that's the main thing that you're hitting on, which they're not going to do, which is sincerity. And that's something we're not going to see from Disney, which is unfortunate.
You're
not when they had the Luke moment with Mandalorian, I honestly didn't fucking care. I really didn't.
Really?
Yeah. I know that meant a lot to a lot of people, and that's fine. It's like, and I'm not trying to shit on your experience because I get it, but at this point in time, I just didn't fucking care.
Thank you for having the balls to just say that.
Yeah,
I'm glad you did.
No, I've said it plenty of times. I said it on the roundtable, the Mandalorian roundtable I was on. It's like, you know, I was pissed. I was pissed when I saw it. I really was. It's like, you know, you guys are basically simping for the show because you got your crumb of pussy, and you know, it's like I was mad. I was legit mad. It's like, this does not undo what happened to Luke Skywalker.
No,
it just makes it worse, in my opinion.
I want to make it clear.
We're talking about this.
I want to make it super clear. I did not I was very, very, very critical of The Mandalorian. And I found myself in a situation where literally nobody agreed with me. Like this side hated me for this thing and the other side hated me for the other thing. And I just was like sort of chilling out in my own little boat, just trying to fish for some bluegill in the area where maybe everybody would leave me alone, right? Like there was a lot of things I hated about it, but there were some things that I appreciated as well. I felt like it was a very middle of the road experience for me. But then when I won't lie, when Luke showed up, I had like a Star Wars theory moment where I was like crying, and I was like, you know, just like complete. That was there. He was, and he was the badass he'd always deserved to be. And for all of the nonsense, like I found value in that moment because it was one moment where I felt seen and recognized and valued, and It was all I wanted. It was all I wanted. And so I'll take that. I'll take what I can get because it had worth to me. And so, and I get how people are like, oh, they're playing with you. They're playing with you. Yeah, I get that perspective and I'm not invalidating it. But for me, I was just, yeah.
But immediately afterwards, not even a few days later, they twisted the testicles off the whole idea because of the freaking fat boy that works for Star Wars, right? The little guy they call of the story group they call frickin' Yoda, and he probably is only that big. He's probably that round. But anyway, what the hell is his name? I freaking hate the guy. Oh my god, this little pudgy dude. Anyway, he shot the hell out of the fans there. He blew up Star Wars theory, right? And then
Star Wars theory. I was trying to remember. It's like, God, it's like I get why people felt that way. I really do. Oh, no. But it just goes to show you that what Pablo Hidalgo did, basically to their biggest fan is like, you really are a piece of shit of a human being to mock him like that.
Yeah,
like, come on, dude.
Oh, yeah, he's a
that was bullshit.
Well, that's part of it. Like, as people have forgotten that everything's not black and white, right? Like there's this just sort of one side or the other mentality that when people have when they're talking about Star Wars, you're either with us or you're against us, right? And that's not necessarily always the case, dude. Pablo, the idea that Star Wars theory is just a little man bitch, right? Because you said he is, and that you have no context. You don't understand the things that led him to this moment in his life. For people who are always screaming about how don't invalidate my life experience or my lived experiences, you sure as hell do that a lot. You have no idea what put this guy here at this moment in time and how he was able to find himself in a place where he could cry watching this. You don't know how he got there. You don't know what that meant to him. The idea that you think you know it and enough to speak in such a way to someone you've never met and you've never interacted with, that's actually says something about you, dude. It says something about you.
Hey, folks in the chat, I see a lot of people are talking about the issue with the stream. I guess just refresh. There's
I've had to do the same thing. I had to refresh as well. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I have to do it again now, but it's being weird.
I know what's going on with YouTube. Did you get the notification email today?
No. Well, I'm sure it did, but I never look at my email.
Well, they're changing their terms of service. It's really going to fuck us this time.
Oh,
no.
God, are you serious? What are they doing now?
We're getting taxed, and we're getting charged.
Oh, yeah, I saw the tax changes. Yeah.
We're getting taxed, and what else?
What's the royalty deal culture? We're getting the 25% off the top, right?
Yeah. Their goal ultimately is have withholding. The federal government wants YouTube to have withholding for us, for our partners. So,
okay, so it's like a real job now.
Yeah,
but it's not good necessarily, because that's what I'm trying to figure out is if the way royalty payments work, it's royalty payments. It's actually kind of the opposite. They're not trying to go for a real job. They're actually trying to force creators to treat this only like a secondary profession. They're actually taking more control over your content. You're now no longer a creator who hosts your stuff on YouTube. You are now a person who makes content, and as soon as it goes up on YouTube, YouTube owns that shit, which was always kind of in the terms of service, but now they're kind of shoving it in your face. We own your shit. We pay you what we feel like what we feel like is the fair amount for what we decide we owe you for the shit we use.
Fuck off.
And what I'm trying to, but I don't understand. Maybe somebody knows the tax code is what I've learned about royalty taxes is basically it will either go as passive interest income or it will go as Schedule C. But what I'm trying to, what I think is going to happen, they're
going to have to send you a 1099 probably, Jesse.
Well, yeah, but you're going to get double. What I think is people are going to get double taxed, right? Because I think the royalty tax will come directly out of the income before you even see that, and then and then you will get taxed on that like income with your, whatever small business tax, self-employment tax, etc.
What?
So I'm pretty sure we're going to get double fucked.
Yeah, I'll take a deeper dive into it tomorrow, and then I'll read the new TOS, and we'll see where we come out. How about that?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a notification yet. I imagine I'll probably get in the next couple of days. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Well, okay, I know it takes a while to send out mass emails to millions of creators, so yeah, it's probably gonna take a bit.
Yeah. So I just wanted to let you guys know. And Culture, please message me when you figure that out. If you like, if you're gonna be on a stream or a video, just shoot me a link to it so I can watch it later. Because I woke up to that news this morning and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I never complain about this shit on the show like at this. Like this is the big one for me.
Yeah, it flew across my radar right away, and then I was like deep diving on it. That about withholding and everything else, and I'm like going, how are you doing this? I mean, you essentially are employing people as independent contractors. So we'll see. I mean, technically, if they're going to withhold, that means you are an employee. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I'm gonna see how they try to get around it. I'll read through it all. And yeah, this is a good question. How do you do it? And this is the other question I have. If they own our content, will you no longer be able to upload it to other platforms like Odyssey? You realize the mass migration that would happen if YouTube actually
I think a lot of creators would be like, fuck off, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it would be really easy at that point. Odyssey's opening up live streaming right now to people. You just have to request it.
I think what it comes down to is that they own what's on the platform, but for the most part, they can't own your IP, right?
They should.
If they're going to stop creators from posting on their website or a different platform, yeah, you're right. You're going to see a lot of creators drop out.
I'm pretty sure it's already in the original YouTube terms of service that technically they kind of own our stuff. If you put it on YouTube, I'm pretty sure they can exercise ownership rights over our IPs, over whatever we put on YouTube.
I don't remember if it was worded that way.
I'm fairly certain it was, because we did a deep dive about this.
I think they're trying to force that though. Creators are gonna be like, fuck
well,
off.
Of course not. But that's why I'm worried about some of these changes though, because if they make enough changes to edge in that direction, then it's not going to seem as weird if they suddenly start doing that.
Well, we know that they've been trying to push out the small creator for a while. So, I mean, this isn't really a surprise.
In that direction.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about somebody else who's down in certain places. Disney. And yes, folks, I apologize for all the errors with the stream. That is beyond any of our control. That is a YouTube issue. So as soon as it gets fixed, we would love to, have a show that's nothing.
I did see someone say in the chat that it looks like mobile's going strong. So if you guys are having a hard time catching this on your computer or your laptops or whatever, you might find mobile works a little better for you. I don't know, potentially.
Well, there you go, Shoom. Yes, I did get a new computer. I didn't think there would be problems, but there are things out of my control. I apologize, folks. So let's talk about this. So last weekend was when was it Friday when Disney announced their numbers? Is that correct, Culture?
Yeah, well, not very long ago. Yeah, so going into Friday, we had this bombshell.
And so, keep going. I'm sorry.
No, please set it up. That makes it easier for me.
All I was going to say is I'm away. Yes, thank you. And all of a sudden, I'm start getting messages like, did you see how much money Disney lost? Did you see how bad they're doing? Did you see that? I go, no, holy shit. And I started looking into it. And I understand there are things that caused this beyond just, entertainment problems. But I think we're in a really interesting place for this big mega corporation. Maybe they're in a situation they haven't been since the mid 80s. And like I always say, when Disney's down, the entertainment's better. But sadly, is not the case. So, Culture, could you tell the audience some of the figures of how much Disney lost? Some specifics, please.
So they've lost for a while now. I mean, let's be honest. Since we started to get deeper into the global crisis that we've been dealing with for a year now, or a year plus now, they've been losing money. They built up a war chest of cash at really reasonable rates so they could, stave off any takeover bids or anything like that, and continue to produce things. Because, as you mentioned, they are spending about $14 billion on new digital content for their streaming services on a regular basis. So there goes a bunch of money there. That business won't be profitable, as we discussed, until after or the end of 2024 again. And in this particular quarter two, Q2, they made $901 million in profit on a $600 million revenue drop that fell. I mean, it just gone. They were able to turn a profit through a lot of, financial machinations that included a whole lot of cutbacks and complete, and cancellations of a lot of previous plans. They still are moving forward with they're so invested in the content side of things and getting the theatrical stuff released that didn't get a whole lot of cuts. But they are going to drop a few film projects. So that hasn't been announced yet, but that's for Q3. But they also their theme parks are severely underperforming, which is some of that revenue shortfall. So parks have always been Disney's, well, not always, but for the most part, in this giant resurgence since Eisner took over, the parks have been their cash cow, and at this point. Disney Paris doesn't open until the middle of June, June 17th. The Hong Kong park, to my knowledge, is still not open. Shanghai is. Let's see, the Disneyland park isn't open in any appreciable way, although they're expanding to 28% here in the future. Another 28% in capacity, people that they're allowed to let in. Florida, it's up to them to control capacity in Florida now because the governor is essentially, taking all the fetters off. So any fetter that exists now is Disney's own doing. But they've expanded their capacity in Florida. So the next quarter will look better, but I expect they'll have another, revenue shortfall compared to the previous, comparable quarter. So, and that's the problem is now we're running up against, the parks were closed. So how are you having these revenue shortfalls? You can compare them.
Yeah. Disney is taking another major stock hit. It wasn't as bad as it was, I would say, last year when they went below $99.
Yeah.
But apparently they were up to 185. Now they're down to 170. So I'm pretty sure it's going to keep dropping down. But that's just like the Dow in general these days.
Yeah. The 52-week high for them was 203.02. Right. That was their previous peak in the last 52 weeks. The predictions or what the market analysts are telling you about this is it is 58% overvalued right now. There's a negative 58% estimated return. You have a short week, which is the 2 to 6 week period where they project it will fall further. Midterm, that's 6 weeks to 9 months. That's midterm. They are anticipating it to go lower. And long term, which is over the 9-month period, it will be at best flat. So they are not projecting good things for Disney based on the most important thing, which again also caused some of this revenue shortfall, a drop in subscriber growth. They severely underperformed to the tune of almost 6 million subscribers that they didn't get.
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure really what they think is going to happen with the parks. There's a lot of depreciation of the brand of Disney that's gone down at this point. And look, that I'm not saying that you can't come back from that because obviously we've seen Disney come back from that before, but it was hard and it took a bit of luck in some ways.
It took a lot of great ideas from Eisner and Wells to get the company to recover. You're not wrong.
It's something that you would think that they would be doing everything in their power to stave off and to bad decisions, and that's reflected in the numbers that we're seeing. Right, I've been to the Disney parks. I went about a year and a half ago now. At this point, and it wasn't just that Disney, was hot and crowded and full and blah, blah, blah. There was a shift from the previous 5 years. I'd been about 5 years before that I'd gone with my parents. There was a real shift in the dynamic of the interaction between the park employees and their just general outlook and the way that they were behaving and interacting with customers, and just the sort of standard that had fallen. And it is a severely falling standard that has happened over at Disney, at least within the parks. That is representative of how you are conducting your business. This isn't just about the pandemic. And no question that the pandemic is a huge part of this. But you are not making things better on yourself. You're making bad decisions and bad calls in a time when you can't afford to do so.
Sorry, folks. Or Mary, I wasn't trying to not listen. I was just trying to get everything behind the scenes worked out because this is a YouTube problem, folks. It is a bad YouTube problem. I was over on Andy Signor's stream just in the chat for a second, and I got the error occurred. It's the playback ID JPO1 whatever. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue the show, and if you have to catch it in a replay, we hope you come back. Again, this is just across the board. No one's being targeted. Nothing bad's happening. It's just it's falling apart. So it's one of those situations. So
it's a terrestrial issue, probably.
Yeah, it is definitely across.
It could be aliens
on YouTube. I'm looking around as well and seeing just a bunch of stuff that's just not rolling at all.
Hey, comics, since you said alien, have you been hearing some more of the UFO talk about stuff that's going to come out again?
Wait,
I have heard a little bit of it. Not a whole lot, but I know that it's pretty funny. So I always like to bitch about The View because my wife leaves the downstairs TV on, and she leaves it on. It was ABC or CBS or whatever, whichever the one's owned by Disney. I obviously don't care.
ABC.
And apparently, ABC. Okay, so apparently they were talking about the whole aliens thing today. So
wait, what
reaction?
What's coming back though? What?
Aliens, UFO stuff.
Wait, like actual aliens are landing?
No, not actual aliens are landing. It's just a lot of people, like a lot of military, I guess, like fighter pilots are talking about the UFO stuff that's been going on. Are they declassifying a bunch of stuff, or what exactly is going on?
We're supposed to, I think, either next month or July, sometime this summer. There's supposed to be a hearing that they're supposed to get a lot of information presented that should be available to the public. That's the extent of which my knowledge exists. If you want more on that, I would check with my buddy Enter the Unfamiliar, formerly known as Final Death Star, or obviously check in with Gary if they, and Doomcock if they do another one of their amazing shows, But I've been hearing a lot about it. We've been hearing about it. Yeah, June is the report to Congress. Thank you.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit a couple of weeks ago with TM Martin. And we were talking about the direct energy stuff, and all that stuff's kind of crazy. So who knows what's going on?
I just want to see people's reactions. I want to see how the public handles it. That's
all.
I mean, at this point, I think anything is possible.
I'm gonna seriously. You know what? I'm gonna refuse to wear a mask in Walmart, but I am gonna wear a tinfoil hat.
You're probably better protected with a tinfoil hat.
Yeah, you are, because if they're using microwave attacks to neutralize people, because there was another energy attack near the White House not too long ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tinfoil. Yeah, reflective.
Mary, are you going to put mayonnaise over your windows to protect yourself too?
No, I'm taking my teddy bear.
He will protect you from me.
But anyway, getting back to some of this Disney stuff, I still feel like they're not out of the woods yet, and they won't be for a while. And it's they're spending money. They're spending money on the wrong stuff. Here, realize this. What year is it? It's 2021. What year did Disney World open, or at least Magic Kingdom open with the resort hotels that were there? 1971. What year is this? The 50th anniversary. Disney takes anniversaries of their parks and resorts very seriously. Do you know what you're not hearing anything about?
Any of the oh my gosh, but you're right, Culture. I was there for the 25th anniversary when I was a kid. I was 12 years old, and everything was 25 years of Disney magic. Da, 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 da. I'm serious. I still remember those songs. Like it was a huge deal. The whole castle was dressed up like a cake. It was a huge deal. You're right. Oh my gosh, how is this possible?
I'm just saying. And again, I mean, you have that going on. That's normally accompanied by a bunch of attractions and things. And they were planning many attractions across all of the parks to celebrate this 50th. There was a new parade, a new fireworks show, a new projection show. All of that stuff was supposed to be in place. There were supposed to be alternate celebrations in the other, adjacent parks, because there are four parks there. But none of that. And you have, so I mean, they're spending money. They're spending money in making wokeifying attractions that might offend 8 people that happen to go to the park that day. You have to change the Jungle Cruise. We've been changing freaking pirates now for 15 years.
Did you see what they did to Snow White?
Oh yeah.
Or what came out about Snow White? Everybody was super upset because Snow White had the kissing scene or whatever, and the lack of consent. You wait, they're going to change it again.
Oh God, yeah, they probably will.
You wait, they're going to change that.
I think what's going to come out, I guess in June with this whole alien things, that reptilians are real and they're really running the government.
Did you not see that picture of Obama with the yellow eyeball? They're totally running.
Oh yeah, that's the reptilian thing.
Wait,
I mean,
he was in the Thriller video? I didn't know that.
my favorite conspiracy is the reptilian conspiracy. It's so ridiculous.
That they're like body snatchers or whatever, or not body snatchers, that they pretend to be people.
It's basically somebody ripped off V, the TV show V.
I remember that. So let me read a little bit of this because I found a pretty good this article right here. Oh wait, did I drop? No, I'm back. Okay.
No, you're still here.
So this little article I wanted to share real quick is a nice. It just breaks it down quickly for those who may not know exactly what's up. So this is for Hasbro as well as Star Wars, because I really wanted to just make the point that the Star Wars brand has increased by 1%, but the merchandise sales have increased for the first time in however many years. Now, I got a question to ask you guys. What do you think is the reason? Now, I'm going to guess it's because, maybe they've spent the last, 2 years pumping out original trilogy toys to try to sweeten the pot for collectors out there because they don't want to buy a stack of Rose Ticos and Rays and Finns, but people will line up to drop $129 on a land or a snow speeder with Dak and then another 20 on Luke, and then they'll keep buying shit. So I think they have learned a lesson in economics, embarrassingly, that all their diversity and whatever they want to call Disney Star Wars, it doesn't even have to worry about the politics or the agenda. It's just shit movies, just flat out garbage movies that nobody gravitated towards on an emotional level after the initial trailers.
That's a lot of stuff that's woke. It's like it's garbage. You take that stuff away, it's still terrible. I mean, that's kind of the issue, right?
Well, and I think that there's probably, I'm like you can call me cynical or whatever, but I think that there's probably a revenge aspect to this. Like, you're right, they have been pushing out these older toys, and you have fans who are worried that, okay, so this is clearly not something that's going to be available to me for forever, because the care and concern for this IP has been utterly just dismissed and disregarded. And so there's probably a sense of both panic and revenge buying going on, where people are like, I may never see these things again. These series are going to go away at some point, and I may never see them again. So I'm going to get them now while I can. And then I know that there's revenge buying going on. People are out there getting Cara Dune figures on the black market. Because
but is that? I guess maybe that is revenge buying. I don't know, but I think a lot of it, the reason why people are going and buying, I think you're definitely right on the whole thing with we'll probably never see this stuff again. And then I think that there is legit, fandoms around this stuff, right? I mean, come on, that's why we're here. People actually care about the stuff, and that's the reason why they're buying. They like Luke, they like Leia, they like Han, and that's the reason why they want this stuff. It's like you didn't create any kind of emotional connection with the older fans with the new characters, which is the reason why obviously they're selling poorly. Yeah. Let's be honest. The only person who went out and bought a bunch of Rose Tico, figures was EVS.
Now, I made the mistake of daring my audience to send me some. I have about 50 Rose Tico figures.
And Jeff. I have to amend that now. And Jeff.
Yeah, you have to lump me in that list. Thankfully, people didn't try to get vindictive and send me like Rays or shit like that. I've seen, and I brought this up last week. I know there's been a lot of militant boycotting, this, that, and the other. I always tell people, do what the hell you want. Mm-hmm. But I've seen a lot of people in the community out there picking up the vintage style Mandalorian figures. That was a big deal about 2 weeks ago for people to say, "Hey, I found my vintage Mandalorian figures."
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I think there's a softening to the Star Wars brand because it's kind of trying to fix itself slowly on the merchandise front. I still think we're years and years away from them ever doing anything on film or TV that'll warrant the praise that a classic film like the original trilogy gets. But on the merchandise front, they got to make their money somehow. So there's a reason Jar Jar Binks gets 2 figures before Poe Dameron gets a Rise of Skywalker figure.
Well, the merch has always been the big ticket for
Yep.
Star Wars, right? That's always been where so much of that money came from, and really what kept a lot of it alive. And so you would have to think that, like, in terms of like the waking up and realizing that this is a bad idea, right? I have a bad feeling about this. That's going to be the first place that happens, that occurs in, because that's where such a giant portion of the revenue comes from.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened with the Doctor Who stuff. You know, I mean, nobody's scrambling to buy a Jodie Whittaker, Doctor Who, where, the previous Doctors, have done quite well. And
Yeah.
a lot of it is because ultimately, you piss off your fan base. And if you piss them off, they're not going to go and buy your merch.
Dude, I hunted down a David Tennant figure from the UK right as when he was still playing the Doctor and the reruns were shown on BBC America. Like, I had to get that shit. I wanted to get a sonic screwdriver, 3D glasses, all that shit. The character was cool. Like,
Yeah, David Tennant was the best.
Yeah. It sucks that the best actors come and go. You have how long was Tom Baker the Doctor? He had the longest tenure, right?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a diehard fan like Gary. It's like I was more of a passive Doctor Who fan. I like the new Who stuff. I would like to try and get into the older stuff. But I kind of suffer from the exact same thing a lot of people are suffering from. It's like you fucking ruin the franchise. What's the point?
Exactly.
And these numbers don't mean a whole lot without the context that would be required for us to note. And I'm sorry, I'm reading through this article. I was like, these numbers aren't helpful.
Sorry, I've been trying to address some of the chat because a lot of people are dropping the stream but still chatting. So,
no, I feel really bad. No, I just was like, this is an interesting report. I can't.
You know what? Let's put it honestly. If it's going to be this bad, we've lost so many people because of this YouTube issue. I'm going to read super chats to make good on everything, and then I think we're going to close this one out early because this is stupid.
Such a bummer. That's such a bummer too, because we had this really great sized audience. We watched like half of it evaporate, and this was such a great show.
Yeah, I really have had a great time. I think we all have great chemistry, but it just sucks that this is so shitty.
YouTube is fickle.
I know why it happened. They know about us. They're protecting Disney. Sorry.
That and aliens.
I was going to say, I got my tinfoil hat on.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to read some super chats. If it starts getting better, we'll keep going, okay? I don't want to end the show. I'm not trying to get out of doing it. I just want to give people a show. Is that fair?
Fair.
That's fair.
Because I've seen somebody like Hargrave Productions has refreshed 18 times, he said. Like, that's dedication.
I've been refreshing too.
I
gave up on the stream. So
I can literally see Nikki behind Culture with a knife, like sneaking up slowly.
One thing I will say, folks, if you're trying to watch the stream, you can jump over to the Facebook page. I do mirror it right there. I would have had it over on our Twitter channel as well, our Twitter feed, but there was an issue with connecting to Twitter. So, let's read some super chats and then we'll see what happens. So again, I want to thank everybody who's been here tonight. I apologize for, the crap. I'll try to come up with another stream this week to pick up some of these topics. I will come up with another stream for sure. You guys will hear a lot from me soon. So Roger H says, well, if Bree ends up playing Mara, that would explain why Luke is so bitter.
Wow. Oh shit, that was great. Sorry, that was funny as hell.
I'm all about that, Mary.
That was funny as fuck. Sorry.
Nelson Charita, thank you very much. He says, Bree is Mara Jade. Who is this for? Who wants it?
I mean, Bree's, like, let's not be like super disingenuous. You can get anybody to simp for anybody with tits, right? There are male feminists, people. They exist. They're out there. They're running around doing weird shit. Like, who wants it? Male feminists. They're the ones that want it. And women with like 14 cats. That's who wants it. Lots of blue-haired people.
I guess.
Next,
now the street's not even coming up for me.
Yeah. Dude, like I said, I'm using Andy Signore as the litmus test because I subscribe. And Popcorn Planet, I can't even get through YouTube right now. There we go. All right, folks, let me get back to this. Sorry to everybody out there. 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser says, sub to all the panelists, be excellent to each other.
Ooh, yeah.
That's kind of how I feel. We should all be excellent to each other.
Word.
Okay, so it's going back up. It looks
All
like.
right.
So we also have our friend Jay Rockstarsky, who says, if Bree becomes Mara Jade, it will be more understandable of how Luke ended up wanting to be left alone. She sucked the Force right out of him. You might want to choose a different set of words, because I don't think Luke would be a very upset man if she had sucked the Force right out of him. He wouldn't be on Octu anymore.
Drained the life out of him.
Yeah, let him drive a soul. Let's see. Nelson Trita, again, thank you very much. He says, they ruined Luke and now they want to show him and Mara Jade? I guess I didn't get to comment on this enough earlier, but Luke Skywalker, he got his moment back with The Mandalorian. Don't touch it. Just let people be really happy.
I agree.
If I had full creative control like everybody wishes and imagines, I would have loved to have seen an adventure of Luke Skywalker streaming show for, I don't care how many fucking years it would be on. It would be Luke as a Jedi, Luke as an X-Wing pilot, just adventures of Luke. He really is the perfect character for just putting yourself in the Star Wars world. He's everybody. He's accessible. He can be a Jedi, a pilot, this, that. He can deal with the underworld stuff. He's a kind, compassionate guy. He's like the perfect character. And I feel like they should do more with him. If I could, I wanted to see more done with him properly, not anymore. Let me correct myself. Luke Skywalker, it really is a crime how he was done. And I don't think it's hyperbolic, and I don't think it's repetitive to keep bringing it up, because for nearly 50, let's go back. So for 40 plus years, Star Wars had Luke as one of the greatest film characters ever. And 2015, they ruined Han. 2017, they ruined Luke. And even ruined Leia in the process by trying to make her more than she was. They really screwed her up. So, NG1T, thank you very much, says the Fandom Menace needs to F Disney harder. Boycott Disney. The sooner Disney turns to the ground, the sooner something rises from the ashes. Folks, I always say, support independent creations and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's what you can do if you want stuff to rise from the ashes. We had our comic. It was a huge success. Thank you to everybody. I've been seeing some links dropped in the chat, so not too late. But Ethan's got his stuff. Fatal J has his. I picked that book up. I mean, there are people out there really making stuff. Movies, streaming shows, comics, all that. Folks, it's exciting to be looking for this shit right now, because people have answered the call. It's no more just, I wish somebody would do something. There are people out there.
Yeah, people are doing something about it, and that's good.
I'm happy that, I buy all these books. When I go on the streams, I pick up all the Comicsgate stuff and the other people that are making books, and I get them, and I'm excited to read them because it's something I've never heard of. And mostly I enjoy it more than your average Marvel or DC fare these days. The big superheroes are very anemic. Stephen Kraft says, I welcome Mary to the High Council. However, I will point out that you got Anna, that Star Wars girl, in return for a meal of dirt and pixie sticks. Seems like less fun than spaghetti and garlic bread.
That's true. It's not wrong. It's probably way cheaper and way less effort.
Well, we'll have Anna on. Anna has always been, Anna's like a real life friend too. So Anna and I are cool. It's always fun to stream. So yeah, you'll see her. She's always got an invite. Cecil as well. I love when Cecil pops up.
Cecil.
So Cooking with Ruthie, thank you very much. She says, I never catch the High Council because I'm always working. It's nice to see it today.
Yay, I love Ruthie. She's the best.
I do too. I wish, Ruthie, you were getting a more cogent show from YouTube, but what can we do? Infinite Wonder, thank you very much. She says, Jeff, how you like an Empire at War? You have the Forces of Corruption expansion. If you want mods, I'd suggest the remake or mod of Thrawn's Revenge. Now, Infinite Wonder, I always said I would never be that guy, but I really love this game. I love RTS games. They're always fun. When I bought this computer for work, and yes, it's a gaming computer, I swore I was going to use it for work. But as I sat in the hotel this weekend, I was like, I really want a game to play. So I downloaded Steam and I bought Star Wars, and it's so fucking good. If I don't stop myself, I will spend hours on campaigns. I get into that shit, like laser focused. StarCraft, Warcraft. When I was a kid, I didn't really get into it, but it was Command and Conquer on the PS1 that really set off my love of RTSs. So,
yeah, I lost a lot of hours in college and a lot of sleep to Warcraft 2. So
it's so addictive because you're like, once you learn how to actually play the game, then you start building up strategies. Then you go into every campaign with a new strategy to make the game more fun. Or like me, sometimes I just want to steamroll the Empire. I landed on Dagobah. I just took them out. I built a whole bunch of tanks. We went to all their bases and blew that shit up. I didn't lose a single man. I lost one cannon. Like, I love that game.
Damn.
I digress. Bowie8085, thank you very much. He says, Claymore anime is real good. Well,
I didn't even realize there was an anime for Claymore. I read the series. The series was great.
Oh wow!
I'm taking a picture of your recommendation, Bowie, because I'd love to check it out. I love cartoons. I know anime is different from regular cartoons, but I use it as a coverall because I love anime.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm laughing my ass off at somebody in the chat who said someone at YouTube unplugged the server so they could vacuum. I'm dead.
Might as well at this point.
I know you guys can't see what I'm or hear what I'm saying right now because all your shit's broke, but that's funny as fuck. Sorry.
Dead Man Walking. Oh, go ahead,
Sorry.
Mary.
No, it just hits home because I can't run my air conditioner and stream at the same time. Sorry.
I turned the fan off so it doesn't blow into here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Don't apologize. Dad Man Walking 55 says, I've dumped Sling and getting into stuff I never thought would be on YouTube, like art and comics. Good to see Comics and Mary here now.
Yay!
What's up?
Dad Man Walking, thank you very much for that. I love to watch art videos on YouTube. You've been watching David Finch, who's a comic book artist. He has really cool tutorials. And I've been getting into like the brain training aspect of art. And I know people are like, wow, this sounds really weird. What are you talking about? So Stealing Solo was so fun to do it the second time that I thought, I've been wanting to get into the creative aspect of the next book. And I always have like a pre-creation phase where I learn a bunch of shit and then I use that in the next creation. It's always fun. So that's where I am. So Dad Man Walking, I love to watch art videos on YouTube. And if you want to get super specific, there's a French show called, it's like pronounced Tac au Tac or something, but it's all these prolific American comic book artists. They get flown over to France. You don't understand a word the commentator says, but you can hear these guys talking and you get to watch legendary masters draw. So if you like guys like John Buscema, Joe Kubert, Neil Adams, back in his young days with that big coif of hair, Tac au Tac, that's a pretty cool show if you like art. Dr. Idiot, thank you very much, says the only good thing that came from Evolution is Battle of Gods. Evolution was so bad that Toriyama came back to Dragon Ball to fix the damage done.
I heard about that. That's funny.
Bowie8085 says, I highly recommend Hellsing Ultimate. I almost said Unlimited.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say.
God, Hellsing was such a good series. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on which one you're talking about, right? I know that it got rebooted a couple of times, but yeah, the concept, man, of Hellsing is great.
I know the image. That guy is so
Alucard. Who is Dracula?
Yeah, Alucard. Okay, so folks, again, I apologize to everybody who's it's chucking along, but I want to tell everybody thank you who can watch this, stuck with us. This will be a very memorable show for all the wrong reasons. 16-bit mascot says, hey guys, Mary, good to see you on the High Council and Culture as well, and I guess hail Dick's Division. Cheers, guys.
Now hang on a second. I did like air maracas when I found out that I was going to get to do this with comics. Like that made me so happy. So yay.
Air maracas.
Well, Mary, you brought it tonight. This show has been fun. And Culture, I love having you, dude. If you can keep Tuesdays open every once in a while, I would love to have you around as much as possible.
You're muted.
I know. Yeah, boomer. I absolutely just reach out. I can always make space. It's not a big deal. I just, as long as I know, same day in the morning, that's great. But I wish the internet was better because there are some numbers on Disney we didn't even get to. But yeah, we got a ton of super chats, so we definitely want to get through all those. So. How
about we'll come up with another day to talk about the Disney numbers, because I think this is an interesting topic that the audience clearly wants to hear about. So let's go down with this ship, folks, Titanic style. So Cesario Japan says there are going to be riots outside of Netflix if Faye Valentine isn't in her iconic yellow vinyl outfit.
Oh, she's not going to be. Come on. We all know this.
Faye is not going to look like Faye.
Nope. I think they made her Hispanic rather than Japanese. So There's also that.
Oh, her, yeah, duh. Please, Cowboy Bebop, just don't exist. I mean, the live action one.
Well, yeah, it's like the anime. Please exist,
Yeah,
because it's fantastic. But this live action, yeah, they need to stop doing this shit.
I picked up this. Okay, I'm going to show this on air real quick. I picked up a Spike Spiegel figure, irrespective of what I'm about to show. Cool fucking action figure, folks. I highly recommend it. But when I typed in Cowboy Bebop, Faye Valentine, this image popped up. For those still here, maybe you'll see it. This is an action figure you can buy of her at Walmart.com right now. You guys like to get this?
What the Wow.
That's pretty indicative of the character, though.
She's aiming that gun so badly that she'll probably be hit with a ricochet.
Like, dude, think about what happens with
that. Looks terrible, by the way.
Yeah,
it does.
What happens with the ejected shell? It's going to hit her on the leg and burn her.
Well, like I'm literally looking at that, thinking to myself, like, you will be so lucky if that shit doesn't ricochet right up your bunghole. Like.
That has to be like somebody posing it, right? I mean, that's not.
No, it's a statue or like a vinyl figurine that comes this way. And would you just like to humor me and guess the price?
Whatever it is, it's not worth it. I mean,
you're right.
Look at the neck. The neck is all jacked up for that figure.
$12.
Okay. Comics? Or sorry.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like $100.
Culture.
No.
I said $249.99.
No, what?
Well.
Why?
If you're going by Price is Right rules, sadly you've overbid. But Comics Division, you win. It's $111.12.
There you go.
What?
I
This
knew
is
it was
something you find
stupid
at Ollie's. This is something you find at Ollie's.
Oh yeah, later. Yeah, she looks up there.
Yeah, for something.
So let's see. We have some more super chats to get through. Dave Meyer says, "I heard a rumor that Mary was on the stream." Well, you heard correctly. No rumor, accurate reporting.
Yay!
Valiant.
Hashtag fake news.
Valiant Renegade says, "Hail WCBS, Jeff. Great to see you as always. Comics, culture, and Mary. What a crew tonight. Yeah, Bree will see Star Wars as soon as I see a Hindu pope. Bree won't matter. Bree won't happen, and neither will Acolyte." What do you guys think about that last part of the statement?
Oh, Acolyte. Yeah, I don't see it happening. I really don't.
I don't think any of this is happening. Not really. Not really.
I still don't even think casting Andor is happening.
Filming.
I hear that they're just about to finish Rise of Skywalker, though.
Oh, about time.
It's almost done.
What edit
did they finish all those reshoots?
I mean, like most of them, they're getting there, right? They're like 80% done, 90% done at this point. So we should get it sometime in the next 16 years.
I can't wait to never watch it, Mary. Did
you actually watch it, Jeff?
Oh, dude, I saw it in theaters night of, man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That is my most successful stream. I had over 6,000 people watch. I got so okay. It was a drinking stream. It was so lucrative on the drinking super chats. We ran out of alcohol, like regular beer, so we were drinking the moonshine pickle juice to count through the super chats.
Why would you do that?
They were.
There's no amount of money, Jeff, that could get me to drink moonshine pickle juice.
Mary, Swinging Cod was dropping. He dropped 6 $100 super chats in a row.
Holy hell!
Yeah, it was really intense. The next morning, we all woke up. There was fast food ordered, and I think Kendo got sick, but not like pukey sick. But yeah, it was a hell of a stream. It was much better than the film itself.
No, I'm sure.
Okay.
I mean, anything. I mean, and again, that bar is awfully low. Anything is better than that movie.
I had somebody walk out of my showing.
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised I actually sat through the whole fucking thing. The movie's gonna suck.
I was surprised at the number of people that were cheering, and I mean, there's like various parts where I'm just laughing. I'm laughing because all the Reddit leaks were true.
Yeah.
They're right about the time that Leia died. They were sitting in front of me and they said, "What?" I think they said, "What is this shit?" or something like that. And they got up and stormed out. And I was trying not to laugh.
Oh, are we talking about Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
Hey, folks.
Oh yeah. That's right. That's right. I for some reason when you said Leia died, that translated to
Luke dying.
No, what's her name dying?
Oh, Haldo.
No, the actress, Carrie Fisher. There we go.
Carrie Fisher. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
yeah, I completely forgot she died in that movie. It just goes to show you how much I don't remember that movie because I don't care.
By the way, folks, shout out to our friend Data Racer 117. Hadn't heard from him in a while. So what's up, man?
What's up, Data Racer?
Good to see you, Data Racer.
Hopefully he sees it and says, I can't. He probably can't see it, to be real.
Silent Bob has a question for us. Silent Bob 78, excuse me, says, did you guys see the live-action Rurouni Kenshin movies they did in Japan?
No, I
did not. There's not a lot of live action that comes out of Japan, really.
No, I mean, there is some. I mean, some of it's like it's anime adaptation. I mean, they did one for oh god, I'm totally blanking. Full Metal Alchemist. There we go.
Mm. There's some, just not like a lot.
Yeah, folks, by the way, I'm reading the chat. We're down to like 100 people. I will say, though, if everyone in the chat hasn't hit the thumbs up button, and they do, we might get the Good Morning Pop Culture still. This was that successful of a stream. So, also, everyone just out there that is hearing this later, this is a YouTube issue across the board. This is not our internet or your internet. Their site is down. So, come back for the repeat.
It's a backbone issue on the West Coast. Google's got it. Level 3's got it. They're also having trouble in Texas and on the northeastern coast. So there you go.
Dude, you're like Oracle from Batman, except you can walk. Like, you just have all the info ready at our disposal. Thank you.
I just looked it up.
Yeah. But the point is, it's not actually AWS because Google has their own data centers. So I don't
it's Google. It's straight up Google backbone. Yeah, and it's also it like I said, it's West Coast backbone, Texas, and the Northeast, New Jersey specifically. So.
All right, so our buddy Obi-Wan27883 says, no, Mary, I believe it's the investor dollars they don't want outstanding for the shortest amount of time to get money back.
Banana.
Obi-Wan, thank you very much. I hope to see you this weekend, dude. Dirth Mick says, I doubt I'll ever watch anything from Hollywood ever again. So disgusted. The companies are trash and the people are the worst garbage.
Mm.
You know, like I keep saying, independent shit, just support it because there's good quality stuff that does reach the same levels of I mean, you can even have technically, mainstream movies still be quality. I know I mentioned this a few weeks ago, excuse me, but Love and Monsters, even if you don't need a film to be not woke, this movie has none of that shit in it. If that's important to you and that's your metric, okay, fine. Watch this movie. Not at all. You'll see a really great character not get shit on. That dude nuts up in the beginning, and he's a traditional guy. Very Luke Skywalker. Like, look him up. But if you're looking for like super independent stuff, there's a lot of great shit out there too.
Are you familiar with the YouTube channel Wisecrack?
I think so.
You know who Jared is, right? One of the guys that started the channel.
Yeah.
Unsafe Space did an interview with him, which was very enlightening. I didn't realize that he left the channel, which makes sense why. Probably part of the reason why I stopped watching. But it was very interesting because he talks about Hollywood and how he lived in LA and he's back in Houston, Texas now. It was very, very enlightening.
I'll have to check him out. I Googled him.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to the interview. It's interesting.
Wisecrack does the I'm trying to make sure I'm thinking they're the ones that do the philosophy of videos, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking the right thing.
He talks about the whole wokeness thing and how it got into the channel and how he had to pretend to be woke. It was pretty interesting. Yeah,
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I'll drop it in our private chat.
Cool.
Mrs. Mrs. Dad Walking 55 says, I now watch anime, Asian drama, and old BBC shows and YouTubers. Current American TV sucks and is totally uncreative. Welcome, new High Council.
Yay! Thanks, Mrs. Dadman.
What's up?
Stone Cold Jeremy says, because Access Media is trying to justify their existence by having their hot takes and prognostications. They're as useful as a wang on an elbow.
That's true.
Wow.
Hey, that's a Dick's Division joke, right?
It is a Dick's Division joke.
Stone Cold Jeremy, thank you very much again. Now, Joseph Bienowicz says, hail the High Council, but
Hello, all.
Nope, not today, Satan.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, everybody.
I literally just rolled away from the computer and ran over my dog's tail.
Oh, that's not nice. Don't do your poor dog.
I feel so bad. I'm sorry, baby. Go lay down. Jeff's being crazy. There you go.
The Rookie Critic, thank you very much. He says, "What sandwich would you like? I'm your Subway guy."
He's the best.
Or
You know,
other Jeff.
Rookie's
Many
actually
Jeffs.
Rookie's actually a great example of people who make their own content, people who make original content. Something that Rookie's always done, and I think we should be more supportive of it as a community, is he makes independent films, and actually in a really interesting way. He gets everybody together from all across the fandom and like gets them to do parts that he's scripted and put together, which is not easy. And he's accomplished this multiple times now. Rookie's one to watch. He's actually got really amazing original ideas, and it's really cool.
That's something I used to do. I was pretty involved with the independent film circuit here in my hometown. But it's definitely a lot of work. It's something that I know I couldn't do today. Simply it's just a time issue at this point. I'd rather create on YouTube.
Yeah. Plus, he's also one of the leaders of the Fandom Collective who supports all of us.
Yes.
So, and they are criminally undersubbed, and I've been trying to promote them along with many other people, Ryan, many other folks out there trying to promote them, get subscribers over there, because they're not even monetized. And they've been helping us all out for a long time.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, speaking of the Rookie Critic, he'll be over on Jesse's show tonight with Mandy Summers. What are you guys going to be talking about over there, Jesse? Random bullshit. So
Awesome.
Check it out. I'll be popping over there too. So let's get through this high council that you actually just YouTube shit the bed. So we'll fix this up another day. But to answer your question though, Rookie Critic, Subway's a guilty pleasure. I like the meatball sub, Italian BMT, fucking chicken teriyaki, all of them.
It's all about the Italian BMT.
Yeah.
I like the sweet honey teriyaki, sweet onion teriyaki chicken.
The only problem with the BMT when you get older is it has a lot of nitrates in it. So.
Yeah, that's the problem with any kind of thing like salami and pepperoni.
Is that like gluten?
No, it's just like it makes your heart. It literally kills your heart.
Yeah, it's not good for especially boys. It's really not good for boys for not just the heart reason.
It was a joke. I was, gluten's not real. That's it. You know what? Never mind. Where's my teddy bear? Fine.
Oh, I was like giving you, helpful advice, but you go for your joke, lady.
Yeah, I meant something to me. Culture. Nitrates. I'll actually have to Google that later. I'm sure that at some point that's going to impact me.
Not you, but
You can get nitrate-free bacon, Mary. So
that's what I get. The natural, uncured bacon.
Jeff, you can get bacon-free bacon. What do you like?
Boo!
Being a vegan.
Turkey bacon tastes like feet. Why would you possibly eat that stuff?
I'm just saying you can get anything these days.
In fact, just picture Brie Larson's feet and that you're eating it, and that's for
come on, dude.
Bro.
I just ate. Come on.
No. You know what I realized? Because of all the internet issues, we only got to hear this once. There we go. Now, where were we? Our friend AJ Journeyman says, Buffalo Jeff plus Robert Munches, I love you forever equals gold. AJ Journeyman, that might be one I read. My mom used to read me that book, so that's going to be weird. Not because I'll be uncomfortable, just my mom used to read me that one, so it's going to be like,
I love you forever. Fine.
Like, I don't know. I'll have a moral dilemma doing that one, but I'll do it for you guys. Check out Patreon soon. Jin Wong, thank you very much, says, Hail Jeff, hail Casino, hail Comic, hail Mary, you guys rock.
Yay!
Well, thank you
Air
very
Maracas.
much for the support. Ooh, Air Maracas. You rock as well, and thank you for joining us tonight. Again, folks, I apologize for the YouTube issues. Not our fault, but we want to put on the best show possible, so I take it personally when somebody doesn't let me. Runs with Phantom says,
push me and then just touch me until I can get my satisfaction.
Why are you this way?
well, Mary, the rookie critic says
55 fat flowy flowers floated furiously, forcing Frank forward, flirting, facing Fanny for freaking flying. Flaky fruit flies.
50 Shades of Gay.
oh my god, I love it.
I want to go home.
Aren't
Well,
you
Mary-
already home?
Yeah,
I don't know.
you're here.
Probably. They tell me I live here, but this place sucks.
Steve Fernald, thank you very much. He says, Jeff, favorite line from Batman 89. If you guys have a favorite off the top of your head, say it out. I'm going to think about one for a minute.
Batman 89. Wait, okay, so trying to make sure I don't get them mixed up, but there's like, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Is that right?
That's from it.
Yeah, okay. Trying to make
You
sure.
want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Oh my god, that's such a great line. I know my favorite part of the movie is just new and improved Joker products with the secret ingredient Smile X. He's been using brand X. Like that's what I want in the next Batman movie that features the Joker. A fucking over the top commercial. How many times does Batman call the Joker, or the Joker takes over the Gotham Stadium Titantron or some shit? How come we don't get that anymore? I know Joker did the GCPD thing or whatever it was called, but like a really over the top one. I think the Joker, they have one more of them in him. It'd be so fun. Like he should kidnap a bunch of people and put Smilex gas and do all this crazy shit. Like make the Joker crazy again, not just
That'd be
like,
awesome.
Comical. That's what I should say.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
Did you go see that when it first came out, Culture?
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah, 1989. It was there. It was in the theater. I saw it multiple times that summer.
Same here.
Clearly, you guys liked it. What was your response? I was a little young. I was only 6 months old when that one came out. But back then, were you blown away, or did it take a while to appreciate it, or what?
No, man. I can't even tell you. I can't even count how many times I went to see it in theater. I spent the summer in the theater. I'm pretty sure it was a summer movie. But I saw it a friggin' boatload of times. It was incredible and a lot of fun. And the Joker. I mean, come on. You have probably the best Joker before Ledger, right?
Yeah.
I loved it, and I didn't take me long to get it. I loved everything about it. The soundtrack was ridiculously good. I owned that on disc. It was something the boss and I drove around listening to. We listened to the soundtrack. Come on, think about the soundtrack. That was Elfman. It was an Elfman soundtrack, right?
Yeah, Danny Elfman.
And the classical, the way it was like listening to a Williams soundtrack. So good. So yeah, I loved that film. I loved everything about it. I thought it was great. And again, I liked the colors because it reminded me of the books, right? So if you're gonna do like a comic representation, that was pretty good. And of course, I'm weird because I liked the Dick Tracy film, and a lot of people didn't. But again, I liked the colors. So there you are.
I have nothing bad to say about that movie. That's one of my faves. Yeah. I don't know, man. They keep making Batman movies. I keep watching that one and I go, yeah, they got it right that time. I love it.
I enjoyed the movie very much. I never liked the fact that they cast Jack Nicholson as the Joker.
Wow.
I was a huge detractor even back then with that. Keaton, I get. It's like I know that even back then people kind of gave the movie a lot of shit for Keaton, but he looked amazing in The Mask. But Jack Nicholson is never sold.
So it's confirmed. Comics division is the new Jeremy. He just has to have like the occasional really, really weird off.
No, I mean, I've been consistent. I'm sorry. I've never liked Nicholson as a Joker. It's like
that is a weird take, though.
Well, a lot of it too, which I thought was funny because at the time you had the Prince video and you had all these like the dancers in the video that looked more like the Joker than the guy that was supposed to play the Joker in the movie. That always bothered me.
I mean, I don't think he looked bad as the Joker. I thought he was great. I thought he looked good.
Jack Nicholson playing Jack Nicholson playing
the
Joker.
Jack Nicholson. I mean,
I like Jack Nicholson. That's a better name.
You talk about perfect casting or whatever. Like Robert Downey Jr. is playing Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, and it works so well.
Because Robert Downey Jr. basically is Iron Man. if you think about it, I mean, really.
I think there's a lot of Jack Nicholson that's lent well to the Joker. And again, like you're totally allowed to believe that. Like I don't have any qualms with you and your take or whatever. I just sitting over here like, okay.
Monkey Jeebus, I'm old. I'm old. Okay. Don't let the voice fool you. I'm old.
I'm older. I'm older.
Let's see. 89. I was living in Colorado at the time. And I was like 15 or 16, right around there when that movie came out.
You are my number one guy.
Yes. Dude.
Jack Palance.
The only part I hate of that movie is when the Joker shoots Bob. Bob Gunn.
Oh.
He was his most loyal subject.
I know.
Yeah. Everybody loved Bob.
This town needs an enema.
That I'm gonna get that. That's gonna be a button for Thursday's show.
Dude, that needs to be a t-shirt.
I would wear that. I just love that Joker. Just with their faces. Candy and what's her face. Yaderhe says what Mary said about Loki, plus retconning him destroys his tri-phase arc of being an almost decent guy. For being a weasel? Question. I like Loki trying to do the right thing. I didn't like what they did to Loki in Endgame. I thought that was stupid. I really just didn't like that plot point at all.
You've got to make that a button, though. You got to get like a Pauly Shore clip. He's a whistle. Like, that's got to be a button now.
I'm down for that. I like Pauly Shore.
It's a whistle. Like, I want to hear that now. He said the word weasel, and now my brain's going to be stuck on that for the rest of the night.
Well, I mean, I can start quoting Encino Man if you want. I live not too far from Encino.
I don't trust you not to do it as Buffalo Jeff. I don't trust you right now. I'm just
Buffalo Jeff.
Dude, you totally need to quote Encino Man as Buffalo Jeff.
Maybe later.
Alfred Pepper, thank you very much. He says, "Hail to the High Council. If you need a good laugh, look up Hot Fuzz, but it's Ultramarines. Then look up Mortal Kombat Fatalities 1 and 2, button 3." Hot Fuzz is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Simon Pegg, right?
Yep,
Simon Pegg. Yeah.
We watched that this weekend.
It's a great movie. It's actually a really fun movie. It's a lot of fun.
God, all those movies, even the God, was it the last one they did?
World's End.
Yeah, World's End. Thank you. That was good too.
Yeah.
Also, you asked for a Mortal Kombat button. You got it.
Dude, think about that. That was Raul Julia on the receiving end of that kick. Right?
And sadly, his last movie.
Yeah.
It was. What a way to go out. Well, no, wait. Wasn't it Kiss of the Spider Woman? No.
That like legit was his last movie. I think
the end of the credits say to Raul Julia right at the beat. Yeah.
All right. Wow, bummer. I was hoping it was something better.
Hey, Mary, you're not afraid of horses, are you?
No, I actually grew up around horses a lot, so.
Who are you? What are you doing here, and where are my horses?
Is it that scary?
What? What?
I love that.
What?
Dude, so what I'm doing is I'm going to have a multi-week button to fuck with Dion. This is just the beginning. There's going to be like 17 of these, and there's going to be Buffalo Jeff integrations and everything.
I didn't know I was audible for that. I thought when you played audio,
you need to have like Goodbye Horses playing.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize you could hear people when you played the audio clips. I didn't think you could.
You can unmute.
If you unmute, I can press like this.
Who are you?
And then I can. Hi, Mary.
What are you doing here, and where
Why
are
are we
my
doing this? I
horses?
don't want to do this again.
Mary.
No!
Say hello to
Goodbye
my
horse.
No! No!
There we go.
No!
I'm sorry, Mary.
I'm not.
Alfred Pepper, thank you very much for your super chat, though. And I always love to play the Mortal Kombat buttons. And Hot Fuzz, I'll give you my favorite scene of that whole fucking movie is when they're sitting there talking about Martin Blower and Eve Draper, and he goes, "What do you want?" He's like, "What wasn't there? Skid marks." He's like, "Now who's being juvenile or whatever?" And he starts laughing at him. I love that scene so much. That movie, it's perfectly written. Dolefield, thank you very much, says Bounding wrote about Loki's being mind controlled over 2 years ago. That was the plan from the beginning.
Yeah.
Hey, Dollified, it's good to see you, brother. And yes, he's one of the contributors over there. It's Donald writing for Bounding into Comics.
He is.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you very much. And good. Thank you for the site.
Yeah.
Primer says, to quote Frederick Bastet, taxation is theft.
It is. Sorry. Pulled out my libertarian flag for just a second.
Nah, it's fine. I agree. Taxation and stuff.
Now, here's a name we haven't heard from in a long time here on this channel. Reed Palancha says, I think the best stories always end up being about the people rather than the event, which is to say character-driven. Stephen King, we seem to lack the art of storytelling by the newer writers. Where did they learn their craft?
Was like drama TV shows, not drama TV shows. Yeah, drama TV shows and soap operas, I believe, is where they learned their craft.
Jesus.
No, I'm not joking. I'm seriously. There's like a number of people that's like, I want to say for Star Trek that were either doing soap opera stuff or like Dawson's Creek or I don't know.
Oh God.
Well, that's the same thing as like finding your artists over on Tumblr, right? Like that's where we're at.
Cal art.
Right
Let's
now.
do comic books in the Cal art style.
Folks, listen to Donkey Source Rex. We only need 67 away for a good morning pop. 67 thumbs up for a good morning pop culture. If you don't like it, do it for somebody else in the community. And what that means, folks, is like I said at the beginning of the show, with that almost moved. I'll move this weekend. Once I get the office set up, I'll give you guys, I guess it'll be 6 if we get there today in a row. I'll do them on camera. It'll be fun. We'll be working and lurking. So let's see. We have a few more, and then we're the show, since YouTube wanted to shit the bed. Thank you.
Close to your 1,000 likes, though.
Oh yeah, only 52 away. Xenomorph Skullhunter 79 says, "Hello, Mary, my old friend. It's good to talk to you again."
Hi.
Hello, Mary, my old friend.
Hello, Mary, my old friend. It's
There we
good
go.
to talk to you again.
You know what? You owe me so many like self-soothing things after this. Okay, like
Mary,
You're gonna get a spa kit.
yeah, Mary. Look, I'm going to be in Cincinnati over the summer to visit my mom. Drive up. I'll take you to the boathouse for a dinner to make up for it, and then I promise at dinner I won't talk like Buffalo Jeff. But as soon as it's over,
one of those heavy blankets that you can lay on yourself.
Yeah, you want a weighted blanket.
Streaming.
You
I
want
want a weighted blanket so I can wrap it around myself while you're doing this shit. And I'll just hide under it till you're done. Jesus, man.
well, I'm sorry. Cesario Japan says, "I want the alien invasion to happen already." As do I.
Say hi.
Yeah, I think we're all waiting for it.
I feel like by this point they had to have gotten all of that whole butt probing thing out of their system, and it's got to go up from here, right?
I'm at the point where I'm convinced that the reality I live in is a simulation, and yeah,
I love simulation theory.
we're in the Matrix.
Those are dangerous for me to get into because I'll watch every YouTube video in a row, and I'm supposed to be working. It's just like, oh shit, I am in a computer.
Especially with just how fucking ridiculous the last year has been, and now you hear all this UFO stuff. It's like, yeah, it's a fucking simulation.
Or they're already running the government, as was said earlier in the stream. So there you are.
We're all meat popsicles plugged into it to generate power for robots.
I'm willing to accept the simulation aspect of it. Like, fine, okay, I'm a brain in a jar. This is fine. But I do not for 1 second buy that the humans are the batteries. We are the worst batteries ever. No. Literally, you could just hook up some lemons. That would go better. Like, I feel like that would go better.
Maybe. Or a bunch of potatoes. You'll get better quality than we were getting on the...
Maybe we're hyper-intelligent potatoes.
I'd be all right with
in
that.
simulation.
If I
That's
were
all
a
we could ever
potato,
want.
I would grow extra eyes just to piss everybody off.
Better to see you with.
Yeah, all the eyes on all sides of my potatoism.
So that super chat we just got a second ago is awesome. I will read it when we get to it. But holy
It
shit,
was great.
Dude, I'm super pumped.
Permanist is great.
So 007 Cloud says UFO disclosure is a distraction for audits like they were for Epstein.
Ah.
Makes sense.
Guess it worked. I forgot.
I didn't.
Well, I'm glad you didn't, because somebody's got to remember, and it sure shit ain't gonna be me. Striderman says, "Hail the new High Council! You guys have great chemistry. Looking forward to more."
I agree. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm having a great time.
Air maracas.
Who was more likely to become the flat earther first, Kendo, Nick Dion, or Joe Exotic?
Wow.
Probably Dion. I mean, no, I should stop. I don't want to throw my best friend under the bus for being a flat earther. He can be afraid of horses. He can be afraid of Buffalo Jeff. He can be afraid of all this other bullshit. But I'm not.
I think it's funny that he's afraid of Buffalo Jeff.
Oh, Culture, you didn't hear what happened on my show this week. So Dion fell asleep on air. And I kept saying stuff to him, and he was snoring on the show. And so I went up and did the Buffalo Jeff voice. He wakes up from his sleep and goes, "Stop it," and then falls right back to sleep. Dude, this is like middle of the show. I go back towards the end. He's still snoring on camera or microphone the whole time. So,
oh my god, dude! Ords fell asleep on one of our streams. Man, it was so funny, dude. You could hear the dude just like sawing logs. It was so great.
I can't
believe you would talk about flat Earth without bringing up the fact that prominent flat earther Mark Sargent is a huge fan of my YouTube channel.
Well, I try to avoid those connections publicly
He
because.
sent me a really nice fan once.
Well, I'll turn it on later to cool us down. But thank you, Striderman, for that really nice compliment. And yeah, we have great chemistry, and there's a lot more to come. Valiant Renegade says, "Hopefully you guys get this. YouTube is dead stick here. Still have chat feed, no show. God bless and thank you guys for the show. Keep grinding, my friends." Valiant Renegade, thank you very much for the super chat. We did receive that. And yes, folks, YouTube shit the bed, killed the show. So we're going to, like we said, we're just going to kind of end it because we're not going to get to cover half the shit thanks to all the slowdown. So come back next week. This show was awesome. So it'll be just as fun next week. Yay! Valiant Renegade, thank you very much again. He says, "Did you guys get the super chats? I super chatted in 2 earlier super chats because the super chats are the only good ones. Super chatted is super chats."
That's like super chat inception, man.
It hurt to say super chat so many times.
I feel like he could have fit the word super chat in there at least twice more.
Yeah, try harder.
Super chat.
Got it in there one more time. Destiny Captain says, "Facebook is working fine." Yeah, it was a YouTube issue across the board. Folks, you could Google it. YouTube did shit the bed. So, 6turning4 Burning says, "Jack is just playing Jack in all his movies. They're just written for him. I feel the same way about De Niro and Pacino."
No, I'm not going to disagree with you.
Not young De Niro, not young Pacino. As they got older, yes, but not when they were young men. They became characters.
Man, Raging Bull, Taxi Driver. I don't know. I still like Jack in Witches of Eastwick. Thought he was good.
There's certain movies where I'm, completely fine with him being cast as, as the character. He just didn't do it for me for Joker. That's it.
There's nothing better for Jack Nicholson than batshit crazy. Right? It's literally,
exciting, dude. I don't know that he even
because it's not that far from the truth. That's why.
All right, so we have a few more, and then we're going to close this baby out. I'd like to thank everybody. Terminus EST says, "Mary grew up with horses. Her upbringing was stable."
Good horses.
Why do you do this?
Folks, we need 19 more thumbs up to hit that 1,000. And even on a night like tonight where YouTube broke, it'd be really cool to be able to cross that threshold. And,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah, so folks, we only need 19 more. Demogenai, thank you very much. He says, "Greetings from the Dark Council." Well, shout out to the Dark Council. Love those dudes.
What's up, Demogenai?
We got all streamed together, guys. You, Demogenai, me, Fatal J, Mark with a C. Gospel according to Mark. Sorry, Mark with a C is the other guy. It's Gospel according to Mark. Sorry.
Demogenai is freaking awesome, man. He's the kind of guy.
Oh yeah, I killed him. Yes, I killed him. I know, I'm the worst, and we can't forget Abu Nas.
Abu Nas is great too.
President.
The
Presidente.
Yeah.
Abu Nas.
And folks, we did it. We have 1,011 likes. So that's 6 Good Morning Pop Cultures. I'll get them. You know what I'll do? I will track down how to make Good Morning Pop Culture mugs and have it ready.
Yeah.
Before that 6 weeks is over. I'll just do it on Teespring. I'll design a mug. Cool. There you go, folks. You'll get your working and lurking mug. I promised it'll happen. WCBS merchandise is happening this year. Everything's taken care of with the book. Now we're ready to move on. Now, Eric Jr. Eric Jr. Maldonado Herrera, thank you very much. I wanted to pull this one up and show the image too. So he says, Dark Council Call of Duty Warzone Season 4 is doing 80s action heroes like Rambo and Die Hard, like John McClane and the actual Nakatomi Plaza in Warzone. Check it out right now. I did. I'm going to buy this shit because I can play as John McClane. It's been like 20 years since they made a Die Hard video game, and the last one sucked.
Wow.
But there's Rambo in Call of Duty, and it looks cool.
Wow. That's interesting.
Oh, dude, I'm yes. Oh, hell yes.
I have to play this. This looks cool. Oh, this is whatever. But yeah, man, there's the Nakatomi Plaza. Shit.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, see it. There's something to get excited over, even though it's probably just going to be it's Call of Duty, but fuck it. It'll be fun.
Oh, okay. It's Cold War. Now that makes sense.
J-Hando 4. Oh, go ahead, Mary. Sorry.
Is it sad? I don't play Call of Duty.
I don't play it either. But Cold War makes sense because it's actually set in the 80s.
I'm
a Halo guy. But
yeah, I grew up a Halo kid. I mean, come on. Original Xbox.
did you see they have a theme for the new Xbox that's the original dashboard?
No.
I kind of want to get that and pair it with a Duke controller and go back 20 years.
Oh, that would be so good.
So many, and it's nice how many games are backwards compatible for the original Xbox on this thing. There's a decent amount. So Microsoft did it right. Jhando4, thank you very much. He says, hey, people. Hey, Jhando4, thank you very much. Commander Ed Straker of Shadoo says, I am only a spud boy. Look for the real tomato. Mortal Kombat. All right, Mortal Kombat it is.
Mortal Kombat.
Which Mortal Kombat am I going to press? Ooh, let's see. You know, we'll use this one.
We'll never get over that.
Flawless victory.
Oh, shit. Somebody had it queued up. Yes.
Nice.
Was that you, Culture?
That was Culture.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Oh, that was awesome.
He is so reliable on that front, man. Culture's tits.
We have one more super chat for the evening from Doug Keller. Thank you very much. He says, Jeff, when's the children's book coming out? Buffalo Jeff and Jesse's Big Balloon Adventure.
Oh my God.
Now, Doug, all joking aside, I
can't wait.
Buffalo Mary.
That was me.
yeah, it's Buffalo Jesse.
No.
No, it was Buffalo
Like-
Jesse?
Yeah, Jeff's loyal skin mask.
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
I wear my girlfriend out, literally. Oh, but all
I'm gonna have
joking aside,
nightmares of you hiding under my bed tonight, by the way.
Oh, your nightmares, at least your concerns. I'll find you in real life. You'll never have to avoid me.
Sweet dreams
No!
are made of these.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna get some Filaflex and 3D print like a Buffalo Bob face for you.
please do.
Leave me alone!
So we have one more super chat, and then we'll close out this very broken stream. Thanks, YouTube. Our friend, we read it. Sorry, that was our last one from Doug Keller. I was going to answer you, Doug, and tell you I have, for the comic business, I bought an iPad. I'm going digital to Procreate and all this cool stuff. But there are these neat brush packs and things that have one that makes your artwork look like a children's book. So you can laugh now, but I have played with the idea of doing some Buffalo Jeff illustrations as a children's book. So
Oh my God, that would be fantastic.
yeah, like they're going to be really fucked up, but I figure why not? Last super chat of the night goes to one of my favorite listeners, Tim Riggs. He says, I have had no time for live streams for the last several months. I just wanted to say what's up. Now that I got some time off from work, I'm about a dozen shots in.
Woo! What? Wow, okay. Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, Mary Tim Riggs parties. He comes to Horror Hound with the guys and I. If you're ever in the area for a Horror Hound or you decide to get a table or do something.
Wait, what does that mean? Horror hound. What does that mean?
It's a horror convention that the guys and I work.
I don't like horror, Jeff. What part of me screaming no while you're doing this shit?
Convention, Mary. You can come and hang out with me.
No,
Yes.
I don't want to. No.
Batman, well, I did buy Santa's Husband. That'll be
God.
Probably when I had to find where I put the damn books. So what happened is I misplaced the books and I read Eric Carle's The Hungry Caterpillar. I just bought it off Amazon. So I'm sitting there reading off a tablet.
Eric Carl.
It's so weird.
Dude, I was so bummed when they canceled my order for the new Warriors. I was like, this is like a month worth of stuff, and
yeah. It was going to be the best worst comic ever. Like I was ready to laugh my ass off.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of the parody sketch Jeff and I did on my channel.
Oh yeah, you guys should
so fun.
Yeah, you should check it out.
What's Warrior Rejects?
The new Warrior Rejects. So you can see our old acting.
That's funny.
It was great.
Well, Tim, it sounds like you've had a hell of a last 5 days. I just got back from Vegas, so yeah, I'll talk about it, I guess, on the podcast when the YouTube is a lot better and more stable. So, folks, I guess we're just going to close the first era of this first day of this High Council era out like this because we had an awesome stream, but sadly YouTube yeeted it because it yeeted itself out of existence. So, Culture Casino, before we go, again, thank you for joining us and congratulations on the 2,000 subscribers. Is there anything you'd like to tell the audience before we go, especially where they can find you?
You can find me at Culture Casino on YouTube, Culture Casino on Minds, Culture Casino on Odyssey, Culture Casino on Twitter. It's not that hard. Also, tomorrow's video is about some trepidation I have with the Warner merger with Discovery. Because originally I was incredibly positive, and I may not be now. So that video drops tomorrow about midday for people on the West Coast, so 3-ish for people on the East Coast. So there you go.
Mary, where can we find you?
Well, hi guys. I am Mary B. I am the Mistress of Mayhem, disruptor of the narrative, and official Whammon card holder. You can find me over on my channel, Mary Mayhem, where I talk about easy new stuff during the week. You can also find me over on Twitch, where I'm doing gaming content with my friends, Among Us community streams and Mario Kart streams on Tuesdays and Tuesdays before the High Council. So you could call that the pre-party.
Ooh,
Yeah.
party
I got
time.
the after party.
Yeah.
There you do. We're going to be joining over there in a minute. Let me share the link to the after party right now. Mandy Summers, the rookie critic, and myself, and Jesse.
Yeah, Mary, if you got any energy, and either of you guys, you're welcome to pop in.
I don't know why I just shared the link to your stream on your own chat. Sorry, that's not going to help this.
I feel like I've got enough vodka to engage. So,
Comic Division. Sir, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me over at Twitter at Comics Division, as well as Minds, and of course my YouTube channel, Comics Division. And you can also find me every Friday on Friday Night Tights, except this week because, well, I'm having surgery. And you can also find me over at Unsafe Space, where I talk about the Great Reset.
Now, folks, I will have a video out tomorrow, probably a little later than usual because I have to make it. But I went on the way. I filmed toy stores or toy shelves in areas across California to Nevada, excuse me. So there's going to be another toy video coming out with a lot of footage. Star Wars, obviously, but there's another looming issue, which I think is going to be very interesting to watch at retail. So join me back tomorrow for that. Again, as soon as I get everything worked out personal-wise, just to move, be prepared for more content. New computers here, other stuff's getting set up. It'll be nice. Holy shit. Okay. We got another massive super chat. He says, you guys hung in there. Wow. Thank you. He says, you guys hung in there. You made a great show, even as YouTube failed. That's what makes great content. It makes all you guys professionals. Soldier on, Jeff. Comics, my love, Mary. And yes, Culture. Kudos to you all. Well done.
Even Culture? Dick?
Yes, even Culture.
I've been promoting you for weeks, bro. Check out Valiant Renegade in his channel. He's a great guy. Mostly.
Hey, Valiant, I'm glad you're here. I saw you on camera, and I thought you had like a really nice setup. I was wondering what you used because he was on your stream, right, on Sunday, correct, or Saturday?
Oh yeah, no, man, he's actually qualified to do production stuff. I mean, he's a real good dude. Yeah, he was on my stream. Great guy, talented guy. He's excellent YouTuber. I think he's a fast up and comer. I think that's how Gary described him. So yeah,
I took a screenshot of your stream because I was like, dude, this guy's setup, he's so crystal clear. So Valiant Renegade, if you wouldn't mind, could you tell me what equipment you use? Because I wouldn't mind like having my camera and lighting setup look like this. What do you think, Jesse, for a YouTube stream? This looks look how good this looks. Like right here on my phone. Like that stood out.
Yeah.
The clarity of that guy's everything. So yeah, Valiant Renegade. I like your setup. Message me, dude. Valiant Renegade says, I love Culture Casino. He knows I love joking with him.
I love you, man.
All right, you got it, Valiant Renegade. I will message you on Twitter. So, folks, I would like to thank everyone for joining us. Sorry that it went the way it did, but you know what? YouTube couldn't keep us down. I appreciate Culture Casino, Merry Mayhem, Comics Division for joining me. This was the High Council. This was an awesome show. And, folks, thank you for watching. And remember, be smart, be safe, be cool, but always be excellent to each other.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name?
My name is Jeff.